Oh boy, you guys are just having too much fun over there with the TTS. That's the problem when the TTS is free. Welcome everybody. We're about to get started. Let me bring up the right screen here. Alright, we've got... let me have a look here. There we go. We've got the CPL 9 Finals Tier 1 Fightin Aiurish versus Jin Jin and Pand0r Patrol. I am joined here by Forte and XUN. Guys, say hi.
Jin Jin the terrorist.
Forte, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. I'm absolutely.
He's totally
I'm good to
level.
go, man. Yeah, I'm level.
By the way, thank you for the follow, Peach Phantom. We've been casting your games. They were pretty hype. They were pretty awesome. Let's see here. We've got Tier 1, so we've got a lot of TVZ here today. One TVT actually, and one PVZ. And all of these players are like, they're some of the best players of Tier 1 here.
I notice you aren't laddering Forte.
Which we have to expect here, because this is the end of the season, so we're going to get all the best players here duking it out for the prize. And last cast was Tier 3, which was a very one-sided a very one-sided cast. So let's see if something like that is going to happen again, or if it's going to be a bit more balanced this time. Guys, what do you think of the matchups?
Well, I'm really happy to see the likes of Kimura, Manadog, Sirref, Zen. I want to see more of RuhZo, so I'm kind of excited about that as well. So there's quite a few names on here I'm interested to see, and I'm really happy that there's a lot of TVZ games, so I'm excited to get this going.
Yeah,
TVZ is a very fun
$20
matchup for
donation
sure.
at stake.
I'm happy to root for my team, the boys on the left side.
Yeah, TVZ is such a matchup that's so... It's on a knife's edge the whole time. It's a little bit like CVZ in that sense. Like in CVZ, anyone can die at any time, and maybe it's even stronger in TVZ, where like the slightest mistake and you just instantly lose the game, both as Terran and as Zerg.
Well, yeah, the TVZ is kind of an interesting dynamic because the momentum of the game tends to shift from the early, mid, and late phases. Like, if the Zerg is playing more aggressive with 2-hatch openers, they're basically dictating the early portions of the game. Whereas, like, in the mid game, the Terran typically has way more map control and is containing the Zergs. Then the Zerg is defensive, trying to use their defilers to secure a fourth gas and such. So not only is it on a knife's edge where the Terran can do like semi-all-ins with dropships and finish the Zerg off prematurely, but the dynamic of who is aggressive and who is defensive and who has the momentum and who like has the tempo can change very quickly.
Yeah, it's a very back and forth in terms of who's being the aggressor and who's taking control. It's very interesting in that way. It's there's a lot of branches that can go to. But yeah, let's see. We're gonna start off with a PVZ here, and that's gonna be on Neo Sylphid. So let's get this going.
Nice.
Start the Brute War music up here as well. All right. Right here in the left side of Neo Sylphid, it's varulvsguden. Not 100% sure how to pronounce that, so I hope I did it correctly.
That's pretty good.
And on the right side, it's iamsacul.
iamsacul and varulvsguden. Sounds almost German.
Is that what it is now? I'm actually not sure.
Varulvsguden kind of sounds German. Oh, okay.
Manadog says, call him werewolf god. Is that
Werewolf
what it means?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Yeah,
You know, it does
Say
kind of look
cool
like that, doesn't it?
backward.
Now that he said that. It does
No,
look like that.
it makes sense, you know. It's, when I look at that.
Varulvsguden.
Varulvsguden. Is it
Varulv.
Swedish? Ah, it's Swedish. There it
Ah,
is.
Svenska. It's Svenska.
Svenska.
Ah, min svenska är inte bra. Alright, so what are our predictions for this game? It's a flat map, 3-player. I would say we're probably going to see I think a gateway expansion here would be appropriate. It's going to be that gateway expansion. expansion for iamsacul. Now sending out the probe scout. You do typically see the gateway scout as opposed to the pylon scout when doing this. Whereas if you did want to go for that forge expansion or the early nexus first, you would probably be sending this probe out a lot sooner with the initial pylon at the natural.
Now, do you know the rules for that? If you do go forge first versus gate, and as insofar as when to send the scout out, I think with the gate you could actually collect the minerals and have
Yeah,
the probe go back and then come out and make the gate and then scout.
yeah, pretty much exactly that.
And, and with forge, you just kind of wait. I think.
Well, if you want to be very reactive and greedy, you actually want to send the probe out right away with the initial pylon because you need to get an exact read on how long you can delay your cannon. Because you might be able to make the nexus before the cannon, you might be able to make the gateway and the nexus before the cannon. So you want to be able to be able to play reactive to the Zerg's opener, whether or not he's 11 hatch. You may even be able to get a potential cannon rush on certain maps, so that's something to also consider. Like there's a good, like say Butter for example, in the top position is very good to cannon rush because the minerals are flat, so you can't really bounce a drone over the minerals to deal with it. So there's certain spots which are really good for cannon rushing. So you always want to
Hmm.
keep your options open.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Ooh, I'm cool. Going to get his probe scout into the main base and see the exact gas timing and build order of the Zerg. So going to be good information. And PvZ, it's extremely important to know exactly what's going on. It's a night and day difference if you have a probe scout or not. If you have a probe scout and you can see what the Zerg's doing, you
If
pretty much
Dada,
can counter
Forte
his
and
build
Xun
order
have a
every
million
single time.
fans,
If
I
you
am
don't
one
have a
of them.
probe scout,
If
the Zerg
Dada,
can pretty much
Forte
do what he
and Xun
wants
have
to
10
make
fans,
you
I
have a
am
bad
one
day.
of them.
And it's very hard to line up your cannon timings and gateway timings and tech timings with the Zerg if you don't know exactly what's going on. So losing that probe scout there, a little bit bad for varulvsguden.
Hmm. Yeah, but he sends another one out. I really like this. I always want to try to get in that base again and get that information as much as possible. I think sending out another scout is a great idea.
Yeah. Another thing you can do is you can send this second probe like to click into the middle of the map and then shift click on the main minerals before the other probe dies. So if there was lings blocking at the choke or ramp, it could just drill through and get confirmation on the main base either way.
Right, yeah. So he's not going to get in, but that's okay. At least he's trying. And he gets confirmation on the number of lings that are out at the front. That's not to say that Varl couldn't be hiding more behind it, but he also gets a lookout for any kind of move outs that Zerg might do.
Hmm. And this probe might also slip into the main while the Zealot's going to come in from like, it's the probe actually. But now for varulvsguden, got to be very careful because iamsacul's Zealots are getting on top of his drone line, already taking out 2 drones, maybe getting a third. And now he's going to be on retreat while trying to make as many lings as possible. These 4 Zealots can cause him a bit of a nightmare. 2 can plug the gap while the other 2 go into the main to hit the drones, but
Oh, I
looks
would have
like
loved to see him plug the gap right there.
the Zealots are on top of the drones right now. varulvsguden having to chase around Zealots while the others are trying to target down his drones. He's losing drones right now. There's 2 more going down, so he has lost a total of 4 drones and could lose a few more. Currently drilling the drones to the natural. Lings are streaming out of the hatcheries, trying desperately to clean up this mess. But so far, iamsacul done a really good job of only losing mostly shields on these Zealots. So he's done a really good job of maintaining the HP of his units and now able to trade well as varulvsguden comes back to the choke point but is not able to push through. So now iamsacul getting further damage from these units and causing absolute mayhem in the Zerg space right now.
Very, very efficient Zealots here. All 4 are still alive. There's only one that's really kind of in the red. And we can see how much economic damage is being done here because Varl has to pull all these drones twice now. That's a lot of lost mining time. And there we see he
wow.
taps out.
Oh, GG.
Too much damage has been done. GG.
Yeah, not only killing those drones, but also forcing him to lose so much mining time, like you said there, Forte.
Yeah, that was a quick one. I kind of I understand the feeling, it's tough when you get so behind in the early game, when you let the Protoss, when you let the Zealots in, you just kind of feel like, oh damn, if only I could have prevented that, if only I could go back a few seconds in time and prevent that.
Yeah, it's hard because in PvZ you kind of have to be quite proactive in how you defend against the gateway first openings. You need to get up to 12 Zerglings relatively quickly, and then you want to use those Zerglings to buy time and harass the Zealots while they're moving across the map. Because he is going to do like a 3 to 5 Zealot timing. So not only do you have to slow them down with your initial lings, but you have to make sure that you can track his Zealots out on the map perfectly so that you can always make just barely the right amount of Zerglings to defend. Because if he does slip through your defenses and start hitting your drone lines, as you can see, it can be a nightmare situation to deal with, and it can just spiral out of control from there.
Yeah, and just to add to that real quick, getting Zergling speed is the make or break for that strategy. Because if you get Zergling speed, your Zerglings allow you to dictate the pace, and they allow you to make the decision of when to engage.
Yeah, link speed
Right.
definitely helps, but even without link speed, the Zerg does still have the advantage on the engagements because their Zerglings do move slightly faster than Zealots. Just you have to be more on, you have lesser wiggle room to make mistakes.
All right, let's have a look at game 2. See how that goes. This is going to be on Vermeer.
Okay, Vermeer, huh?
Spawning in the top right corner, it is our Protoss hero, iamsacul, the almost unreadable name. In the bottom left, it's varulvsguden, or werewolf, as he's apparently called in Swedish.
Werewolf God.
Werewolf God, that's it, sorry. And it's cross spawns.
Yeah, cross spawns will change things slightly.
I hope he does a 12 hatch on this map.
Well, 12
Oh,
hatch is pretty good, but if
any
he's not
particular reason why?
if he's not confident in his early drone control, it's not advisable because just losing a single drone while going 11 hatch, 12 hatch does kind of make it not worth it anymore, and you would have been better off going overpool if you take any damage at all. So you have to be very confident with your scouting and drone control to be happy with going for 11 hatch here, I think.
Yeah, I was the reason why I was thinking about it is because I mean, he took so much damage in that last game. I kind of would hate to see him start playing very defensively as a result of that, and kind of, you know, losing his confidence in defending early, because it was just a normal. Oh, actually, there it is. Yeah,
You're about to get your wish. Yeah.
You're about to get your wish, just 11 hatch, Dada.
But I also just like this build on this map.
Yeah, I think it's a great build. If you can pull off the 11 hatch and you're confident in your early control, and I think you should definitely go for it. It's give you a nice little edge. First Zealot now starting for iamsacul, going for that identical gateway first expansion build. Probe now kissing the Overlord on its way to the Zerg expansion. Fortunately, the Zerg cannot be reached in the air by the probe's particle beam, but okay, the probe's just going to admire it from the distance.
Can you imagine how good that would be? Because you can stack them. That's pretty powerful, actually. Yeah.
What if the Overlord had like little claws that could like extend down to the ground and like scratch at the top of, like 2 damage a scratch, you know?
Oh my gosh. Like only when units move through it.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you can make infinite Overlords, at least until until the game tells you that there's too many sprites in the game. And I've tried that actually. It's quite a lot.
Just float them above choke points and ramps, so it like scratches the units as it tries to run past.
Then you give them upgrades.
Very
normal looking game so far.
Yeah, Zealot going to be coming into the natural of varulvsguden now. Our little werewolf god. Gonna have to try and make some Zerglings to deal with this initial pressure. The probe is still here, which can kind of help the Zealots in 2-shotting the Lings, because with 1 probe particle beam and 2 Cyblades rotations from the Zealot is enough to kill 1 Ling, so acting as if the Zealot has +1 upgrades and the probe is there helping. Ooh, but nice round on the Zealot! varulvsguden going to be be very careful not to lose his lings and stop them from getting behind this mineral. But other than that, he's done a great job of already lowering the Zealots down on HP to make them easier to deal with. So it's maybe going to clean this up fairly easily initially. I was a little bit worried there for a second, but it seems like he's going to be doing a good job of cleaning up these Zealots so far.
Yeah, he should clean this up, no problem. The Zerglings are here.
I think he thinks these Zealots have more HP than they do because he's being very passive about this.
Yeah.
He
I
can
think
just kill them.
You want to deal with these as soon as possible because their shields are regenerating, and that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, they already have up to 20 shields now. That's how quickly it goes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And one thing I could give as a bit of advice to anyone watching is that you do want to manually click on units to check their HP, especially early game, because it can help you make good decisions in which one to target down first, or whether or not you should bother trying to trade them or just leave them there for now.
Yeah, these are actually going to regen back to full shield, it looks like. They're already up to half.
That's going to be very good. iamsacul here might be able to trade off more lings than he would have otherwise. Stargate now on the way. Going to be getting that Corsair out to get some more scouting information and harass the Overlords and confirm the tech path, because it is likely this probe will be taken down eventually. He does see the Hydralisk Den being placed and finished before the lair was finished, so he does know there's some potential for a little bit of aggression here in the way of a kind of 973.
I gotta say, he's doing a great job keeping the scouting probe alive.
Well, because he didn't finish off these Zealots, he can't leave these Zealots unattended. Otherwise, he could hunt down the probe with the other lings. So it's kind of a weird situation he's found himself in. Had he traded off those Zealots nicely, he would have then hunted down this probe as well. But unfortunately for him, that's going to stifle his build, and he's got up to like Lava's. Ooh, and iamsacul going to come out from the southern side of those minerals and start hitting the lings and using all that shield that they regenerated to full effect and cause a little bit of a mayhem there at the bottom of his expansion.
Nice. That was probably the best he could get out of those.
Probe Scout is confirming some Hydralisks and Zerglings being produced as well, so this is very good information for him. And there will be a Corsair on the way to scout and confirm if there is any aggression soon. And I feel like varulvsguden has tried so hard to conceal the fact that he wants to be aggressive. He's wasted a lot of lava, because we see a lot of lava that has been banked at hatcheries. I feel like he was just trying to hide the fact that he wanted to be aggressive by not making too many units, but I feel like maybe that was a little bit of a mistake there.
Probably better to just make the units.
Pro also scouting that he threw down his extra hatches.
And there's nothing wrong with turning it into a fake aggression where you're making some units to force him to make cannons, and then you just contain him and try and snipe off the forge, and then you make macro hatcheries. So kind of gone like a bit of a middle of the road build here for varulvsguden.
Yeah, I think it's actually good that he's just throwing down his hatches, and he's just going to turtle up and power on his bases. Because
look, these cannons are just now warping in. I just love how iamsacul is playing this so smartly. Like he didn't make any cannons at all before until just now. He's gotten all this tech up instead.
And we're getting burrow.
Yeah, burrow's on the way.
There's a shuttle out as well, by the way. Looks like we are gonna get a Reaver.
Reaver, and he's placing down gateways. So could be Reaver Goon. Be a pretty nasty unit composition coming up here for iamsacul.
So this is going to be interesting to see, because this is the first time I've seen this in a CPL Tier 1 game.
One of the perks of playing a style like this is you don't have to take a normal expansion path. You can make ninja expansions. So iamsacul could take the top left main base, for example, or the bottom right main base. Kind of like have like an island expansion path to kind of make it hard for the Zerg to keep track of his expansion timings, and also make it hard for the Zerg to coordinate his attacks.
We're getting shuttle speed as well.
Yeah, that's about to finish.
varulvsguden getting on top of the Reaver and trying to snipe off the shuttle, but is going to be losing quite a few Hydras to those Scarabs. Now able to... Oh, he's not going to get it again.
Oh, no, he's going to lose the Reaver too now. Oh.
That's huge. That's really bad for iamsacul there.
Yeah,
That's
that was a
causing.
really big investment.
Yeah, he didn't really get much out of it, and he just lost like a good 400 minerals and 100 odd gas for pretty much free there. Didn't really do a lot with that. So
Yeah,
now going to be a little bit
yeah.
on the back foot.
And these Corsairs aren't going to find any damage. There's just not quite enough of. I mean, he got the Reaver out, he got the Sirref out, he got some Zealots, but it's like not enough of any of those really. There's no critical mass for any of the units.
Mm. It's gonna. Oh, he is doing the style that I thought he would with the goons as well as the Reavers there. But with the Hydras now just moving forward, they're going to start sniping out some of these goons and cannons with relative ease. Beautiful Scarab shot from iamsacul, going to be clearing up some of those Hydras, but it doesn't really matter as long as the Zerg keeps trading off some of these units. It's going to be really hard for the Protoss to get a critical mass to fight the Zerg.
Yeah, he's poised to take his fourth, so maybe he's thinking about, just holding the map, macroing up, and taking the strong economic route. But as I say that, he starts pumping out more Hydra, and at the natural, more Hydra in the middle of the map, all of his Hydra. So I think he's probably going to continue down this aggressive path, but I'll have to see. He's got another shuttle loaded up, ready, good to go. Dragoons. Let's see if he can make something happen this time.
And can
Yeah,
I
one thing.
say, sorry, I just wanted to
Go
really
ahead.
quickly mention that I like that varulvsguden just got Burrow like right away as soon as he spotted that Reaver tech
Mhm.
with his Overlord in the main. So that was a quick
Yeah.
reaction, quick thinking. This is not something you see every day, so good on him for knowing how to play against this.
I think Burrow's underrated.
It is underrated, especially in these situations. It's great. Not only can you have the borrowedlings around the map or whatever to scout, but you also have like Jack in the Box, Hydra ambushes set up. So as soon as they come into the expansion, trying to do a little bit of harassment, suddenly all the Hydras pop up and snipe the shuttle. Be a really good way of dealing with this kind of a play that we're seeing out of iamsacul. Quite a large force of goons and reavers starting to take up position in this top middle ridge. Very powerful high ground to take. Looks like varulvsguden is going to find him up there and start to trade and realize that, oh wait, I need to pull back right now. It's got quite a lot of dragoons.
By the way, I think there's no Evo chamber yet for Zerg, right?
And not that
Oh,
I've
that's
seen.
right. Yeah.
He was a little light on drones up until just recently. He's now kind of fixed his drone count, so I was a little bit worried for him for a second, but it seems like he's got his infrastructure online for the mid phase appropriately now, with enough hatcheries and drones to support the army that he needs to fight against something like this. Meanwhile, I'm still going to be securing this 12 o'clock expansion. Very important that he gets this up right now.
Okay. And where are we at gate-wise? 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 gateways, +1 weapons, +1 armor. Massive goons, just massive amounts.
This is kind of scary, actually, from iamsacul. Seeing this many dragoons with Reaver support,
Yeah.
this is really scary for Zerg. Like, if he doesn't get a critical mass of Hydras to deal with this, he can just fall apart and he'll never be able to fight the dragoons.
Is there any chance we could see Scarab damage in this situation?
It was not necessarily necessary. I think if he's going to be pumping pure dragoons, maybe not. If he wants to make a second Robo and go mass Reaver, then certainly would be.
I mean, it softens up lurkers to 1 hit point.
Yeah.
And I guess it knocks down colonies faster, but in this matchup, I don't really know how valuable it is.
It'd be certainly valuable if you were playing a more turtle pro style and you wanted to like put robos at all of your expansions and get the most value out of them, or if you're worried about like more late games compositions and you want to get every like drop of value out of your scarabs, then yeah, certainly would want to get that scarab damage upgrade. Right now, I'm not sure it's entirely necessary. Would rather maybe want to use those extra minerals and gas and squeezing out a few more dragoons for the critical mass.
Yeah, agreed.
It looks like we see iamsacul moving into the western threshold of the map right now. All of his dragoons in a nice little clump with a speed shuttle with reavers in it for support, and going to be sniping off some of these hydras in small pockets, which is going to be a nice pickup for him. I guess they were there to try and maybe snipe some Light Templars or a shuttle if they could find it, but didn't really find anything besides the face Disruptors of Death from the Dragoons. Has a huge force borrowed on the ridge to the west, but Protoss actually might completely avoid this and just move down through the south and not.
Oh, he's got the Observer. And there's the Unburrow.
Okay, so he's going to engage into this. 2 Reavers do come out of the shells now, and then one gets scooped up and shuffled back over to the right side. There's actually more than just 2 Reavers here with these 2 shuttles, and all of these Hydralisks are getting absolutely ripped apart by the huge Dragoon force. This is
wow.
GG.
Oh, what a smackdown. Damn.
Butchering in the fields.
GG.
Yeah, and some Zerg barbecue tonight.
And those Reavers did a lot of work as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he did a good job of picking them up and repositioning them.
Yeah, there just wasn't a critical mass of Hydras to deal with something like that. You need more surface area. You need to come at the Dragoons from at least 2 angles to be able to get the surface area to trade cost efficiently enough to have any chance at handling a force like that. Once they get so many Dragoons, it becomes impossible to fight unless you have overwhelming numbers of Hydras.
So that brings us to our next match. This is going to be a TVT. And this is the reason why I brought you out here, Shun, to cast with us.
Okay.
Because I can't take it.
Can't take it, okay.
No, I don't know what to say about this particular matchup. It's the one I understand the least of all the matchups. But we have actually seen some very good TVTs in CPL, I think. It's a funny matchup in terms of how the players look at it. A lot of players don't really like the matchup, I feel. Except RuhZo. RuhZo loves TVT for some reason, but he's he's the exception, right?
Yeah, he's usually the exception to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially in his ability to consume alcohol.
How does he do it?
I do not know.
Alright, so let's have a look. This is going to be on Neo Sylphid, and let's get into it.
Alright.
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 Alright, spawning on the left side, it's Arcade Plus, the Terran.
Brown Terran.
And spawning on the right side, it's Justice, the Terran.
The blue Terran.
Justice.
The
Justice. Come on, baby, let's go. Justice, let's go.
Justice is the
Unbiased
best.
casting brought to you by Forte.
Yeah. I have to say, Justice is a good Terran name.
Yeah, no, Justice is
It's
very
not
good.
it's not a good Protoss name, but it's a good Terran name.
I think Arcade's a pretty good Terran name as well. I think both
Actually,
these
yeah.
guys got
Yeah.
good names.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arcade Plus, and then he gets to be like a little extra cheeky and use the symbol after instead
Yeah,
of spelling
like
out
that.
plus. But it's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
excellent choice.
Yeah, definitely star points being awarded to these tier 1 players here.
Yeah, the first thing I'm going to be looking at is where are they going to place their barracks. Sometimes Terran players like to place their barracks a little bit forward, so they can get the scouting off a bit more quickly.
Yeah, typically you want to place it fairly forward so you can float it as just that little bit quicker and confirm the choice of the build from your opponent. Okay, I would say I like Justice's placement of barracks far more than I like Arcade's.
Well, it's going to be there like 10 seconds earlier, I guess.
Yeah, but if you're against a one base free factory vulture build or something, that 10 seconds means a lot,
That's true. It does. It does. It's kind of funny how the barracks kind of operates like an overlord with a lot of HP in this matchup.
Yeah, it's a good analogy there, Dada. I think that's appropriate.
The super overlord. And just the same, like, I guess it makes a difference if you send out your barracks into the correct direction before you know what their starting location is. But I think in most cases you should learn that before you lift off the racks, right?
Not as such, unless you were lucky enough to beat their scouting SCV out on the map or something.
Yeah. So actually he's going to make a second Marine.
It depends. On a 3-player map, you're quite right, Dada. He should know by the time that he wants to float it. But on, say, like a 4-player map, you might not quite know just barely in time. But it'd be negligible. Wouldn't cause you too much upset.
Yeah. Well, the
Okay,
reason
so-
why I mention it's because there's nothing else to talk about.
Well, we do see 2 factories being placed down by Arcade, and
Yes.
Yeah,
that's a
there
very,
is now.
That's
That's right.
this. We could see a 3-factory Vulture 1 base build from him. That can be a viable build for him to try and take a quick win here from Justice. He's just a 1-factory Vulture first from Justice, so that's actually would line up nicely for Arcade if he does want to go for this 3-factory Vulture style here. Put on a lot of pressure early, try and do a very aggressive all-in build to try and sneak out a win on Silphid like this. It is a flat map as well, so he has got that going for him. Something like a 3-factory Vulture on 1 base would be pretty suitable here.
And I guess 3 Marines is exactly what you need to be able to decisively deny the scout before it gets in far enough.
Definitely, and that's actually unusual. You don't typically see 3 Marines in TVT, so that's kind of a little odd. So that would kind of maybe make Justice think, what's he trying to hide here?
Yeah.
All he knows, this could be 2 Port Wraith, so anything's on the menu that he needs to worry about. So curious to see how Justice will respond to this. Still haven't seen second factory being placed down Justice, so at the very least going to be at a bit of a deficit of units as
There it is.
the first tank and Vulture comes out for Arcade here. Oh, and Justice going to see some of those units there, so he was wise. He would have noticed that the timing of that tank and those Vultures would have signaled that he did make 2 factories, so
Well,
now
he did make the bunker back at home, but he's only got 1 Marine in it.
But he is probably getting siege mode and going to be filling this bunker very shortly. The problem is that Justice went Vulture first, so is a little bit late on his tech, so might not be able to deal with this early tank just yet. Only 1 tank of his own just now spawning. It's going to be interesting. Although Arcade actually didn't send any SCVs with this to repair his tank, so if Justice decides to repair his tank while challenging Arcade's tank, he can. Oh no, he gets the shot off from the tank, and Justice is not reacting.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Needs to repair that tank right now. Justice needs to be very careful. He cannot lose this tank. It's absolutely precious right now. Also wants to put an SCV onto this bunker, repairing it by a little bit of time, so we can get this tank repaired up nicely. But when bunker does go down, so now Arcade going to be creeping on forward. Another tank does come out for Justice, so he can
And now
challenge
is
this now.
the time. Now is the time to move forward, and Justice moves forward right at the precise time before the tank sieges up, and the fight continues on. And with just the Vultures that are left, really, I think this is a dead push now.
Yeah, I think Justice has held it, and Arcade is seriously far behind. The siege tanks of Justice rolling out to put on damage on this next tank forward as well. So really bad news for Arcade because
Ooh.
what's a huge
What a turn! of
Oh,
fortune.
that's a GG. Wow.
GG.
Wow.
Oh my god, that was
Losing that tank like that just decided his fate. He just
yeah,
wanted to
it
GTO
started
after
out
that.
so promising.
What a game.
Yeah, it started out very promising, but then it just a couple of things just went wrong in the attack.
Mhm.
Yeah, even when he got off 2 siege tank shots on the tank, I kind of felt like that might be the moment you move forward with your Vultures just to snipe it off.
Yeah, it definitely would have been. So maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity there, but we got it repaired out, and another tank popped out, and he just, as soon as that tank unsieged, the killer instinct kicked in. He wasted no time. He got in there and pushed out that bush.
Yeah,
It
the
was
timing
really
was
cool.
perfect. By the way, the second game is up, Forte.
Okay. I'm in.
There you are. Okay, so let's get into game number 2. This is gonna be on premiere. Alright, in the bottom right corner, it's Arcade Plus. And in the bottom left corner, it's Justice in the black. These are nice colors, I think.
I like these colors a lot. Both look great on Terran.
Nice. Good luck, have fun going on here in the chat.
That's good mana.
Oh, they are Terran players.
Is there a bad color for Terran?
No.
Uh,
I mean, there's bad colors, but I don't think you can say bad colors specifically for Terran. Everything looks good on Terran,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
matter of how good it looks on Terran. The same as like is how balanced is how not unfair is the map for Terran in terms of how balanced it is. You know, like
Matter of
Pand0r being
degrees.
the least worst map for Terran.
This is an interesting position for the supply depot. I guess this boosts one of the SCVs a little bit.
No, what? It's not good. I don't think
Okay.
so. Oh, maybe it does for Terran actually.
Yeah, it looks like it's vertically mining. But
It actually probably does work for Terran. Doesn't work for Zerg, but it looks like it's working for Terran.
yeah.
Wouldn't it be vertically mining in that position anyway, though?
Well, if you set it up, yeah, maybe this like automates it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know the shape of the hatchery and command center are very different in terms of how they interact with
Yeah.
the workers and the mining pathing. So it looks like this supply depot actually does help him. At first it seems so anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it. This is like one of those optimizations you can't really know unless you're a Terran player, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things you know about other matchups, about other races, just from playing the game, but this is like one of those details that you're not really gonna know unless you main the race.
I can promise you that if you did that as Zerg, it wouldn't be good though.
Yeah, I think so, probably. Well, the Zerg has the placement for the spawning pool to the top left of the hatch on the left side.
That's a way better place, yeah.
What do you
Which,
guys think of this gasless expand out of Arcade?
I think Gasless is good in all matchups if executed correctly. It might be just the kind of greed that he needs to get an edge to feel. Maybe he's not as comfortable in TVT as Justice is, and he's decided, okay, well, if I can't cheese you out with a quick push, I'm gonna do a little bit of eco cheese and squeeze out a bit of extra economy early on before I get my structure going, and maybe outproduce him a bit later on. Seems like maybe he's not as confident in the matchup, maybe, and wants to try and figure out a way of getting an edge here.
We'll see. He's going to throw his own command center down, but his factory is already finished, so we'll see. He goes Vulture first, so maybe he's going to put some pressure on.
So he might be able to, especially if doesn't build a bunker. Yeah, I think he will be building one just now, though. Yeah, there.
Yeah, there it goes.
Okay, so we're going to be seeing an add-on straight after a Vulture. So one Vulture to kind of probe at the front and maybe see if there's any shenanigans that can be achieved. Otherwise, probably just going to hang back and chill and transition into a bit of a standard game and just take the fact that he's going to be maybe slightly behind on SEVs.
Okay, and another point of importance here, I feel, is a number of workers on gas. Justice just filled his gas out. He's got 3 mining. And, okay, there we see just now, Arcade is fixing his gas. He had 1 on before. I feel like once you have your NAT command center, down. You probably want to be mining with all three in this matchup. Am I wrong?
Yes, pretty much as soon as your expansion is getting going, you want to be mining with all three in your main unless you're doing some kind of really optimized build.
Well, he's spending his money pretty well, and he's going into Starport, so maybe this has been mapped out.
Yeah, and sometimes Terran players do like adjust things on the fly to like maybe they made a mistake of when they added or pulled off gas and minerals, and maybe they want to like just fine tune it a little bit to kind of like balance the budget. I think that does happen a lot where they need to kind of fine tune the build on the fly to make sure they squeeze things out on time.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an extra layer of knowledge that Terran players need when to cut certain parts of your gas out of your build. And it's kind of cool to witness.
I like this wall in from Arcade. It's going to make him really safe against any possible vulture openers from Justice, and having the siege tanks to plug up that and make sure that there's nothing can come in here. So mine's going to be delaying a long time. So I like this choice from Justice actually, because Justice could, if he wanted to, go into an early third command center eventually and use these mines to buy time for that. And he also has an armory, which he'll be able to use to build some Goliaths to help deal with these Wraiths that are going to be putting on some pressure now. He's going to see that Wraith starting to put you down. There's SCVs in the natural. It's 8 damage a shot, so it takes a long time to kill these SCVs. 8 shots to basically finish off just one. So you ideally want to have like 4 Wraiths that can like double shot the SCVs, but until that time, you're kind of just tickling the SCVs slowly but surely.
Yeah, I mean, he's picked off 2 so far, so that's good. And you might get this third one. There's a Goliath here, probably not. Like, my first instinct actually would have been to just run in and scout the main with that Wraith. Get some intel. But he did get 2 kills, you know. It's not nothing.
It's respectable. And he will pick off this low HP Marine out in the field, so the race will have some map control. And they have very high mobility, so they can just avoid the Goliaths and still be a nuisance for for Justice. So they will still have some value, and like you say, they can also fly in and get scouting information as well. Although he hasn't opted to do that yet, which I agree with you. Maybe he should have prioritized scouting the main just to confirm the path and choices of his opponent, so that he can make choices himself. Now he will be eventually flying into the main base and confirm that there is 3 factories with a 4th on the way, and be able to kind of figure out where he's in the match. Probably being quite happy with the position.
Yeah, certainly I would be. You just got another SCV pick, so every single one has the potential to put you just a little bit ahead economically, so I'd be pretty happy. Losing the Wraith there, not ideal, but, you know, we got in, we got some intel, picked off a SCV, so it's not all for nothing.
Yeah, and at the moment, Justice only mining 1 on gas in the natural. Might want to fine-tune that, especially if he wants to stay on a more like tank Goliath heavy position. A little bit expensive on the gas, so might want to start mining his gas soon. Probably even taking a 3rd would be a really good idea here for Justice, because he did get this kind of mine contain set up. So I was thinking he would take a really fast 3rd command center to take advantage of that and kind of counterbalance the fact that he lost out on the early economic game.
Now, we don't see a lot of tanks out on the field here for Justice. Are you concerned on his behalf? Because with just 2 siege tanks,
you need siege tanks to defend. If he wants to be aggressive, he doesn't need a lot of siege tanks. He can get some work done with his vultures and lay mines and delay and buy time. Eventually, he does need to build up his siege tank count, yes. If he falls behind in his siege tank count too much, then we'll have a big problem, especially if one player gets to +2 upgrades before the other and has a superior tank count, then it can just be pretty much a GG from there, because not only are you getting your tanks 2-shotted by his tanks, you also have less tanks, so it's pretty much a huge trade deficit that you can't come back from. And as we see Arcade now rolling out through the map, 5 tanks and vulture support going to try and crack this high ground position. There's only 2 tanks up on the high ground, but there is quite a lot of Goliaths and vultures to support them, so more than enough to hold this position actually. As you can see, to be aggressive, you don't really need a lot of siege tanks, because once you get these high ground positions, you can kind of have like like half the amount of siege tanks that he does, and unless he's pulling the boys, it's going to be quite hard for him to break those positions.
Yeah, and we see on the status board that +1's about to finish for Justice. It hasn't even started for Arcade, and now that kind of concerns me. He's got the armory, it's just not spinning.
Yeah, well, if you can in this matchup, getting the grade advantage is key. Rushing up to that +2 weapons upgrade is pretty critical to be able to really increase the efficiency of your tanks. And you see this dropship with 4 vultures in it, kind of positioning him into the natural of Justice now, trying to snipe as many SCVs as possible while the rest of his army poised to defend that and deflect it quite nicely. So not really going to get a lot of damage done. Justice doing a really good job of splitting his army and being in position to deal with these drops. So good effort from Arcade there, but not finding much damage. Could delay this CC being built if he was paying attention. It's been nice to force him. Oh, he's going to go for it.
Oh, he's going to come back for it, yep.
Who's going to finish it? No, he's not going for it. Shoot the SCV! Shoot the SCV! No! Oh, what a shame. Close, but no cigar.
Good effort. I mean, that wasn't too bad. He got 2 SCVs out of it.
There's one vulture chasing 2 vultures down. It's kind of funny.
He's gonna get this one.
Yeah, that's true. He just
And
wanted
then
to
he's
get
gonna
the one.
peace out.
He knows when he's outmatched.
Okay, now we see Arcade moving forward out onto the map and going to be securing this lane to his 3rd base. Very important in TVT. It's kind of like chess. You want to kind of control the lanes between the rest of your position, because otherwise you can't, transfer units to and from your bases, and you can't control those lines. Then you get kind of choked out on the map. So having his tanks out in his forward position is really important, so that he can make sure he can send up units safely up this eastern flank, and also transfer SCVs to his to his 3rd expansion.
Ooh, big engagement here at the 3rd. There's nothing here to prevent Arcade's vultures from getting a lot of kills. Okay, here comes the forces from Justice. He should be able to clean this up, especially with the tanks behind it. But not before plenty of economic damage dealt. Not sure how many SCVs fell there, but lost quite a good number.
I think it was, like at least half a dozen to 10, maybe something like that, 6 to 10.
Yeah, somewhere around that.
Still very good economic damage, especially at this point in the game. So nice little pickup for Arcade there. Going to be putting him ahead by about 7 SCVs. Another train finally going back to that 3rd expansion. Also caused a bit of lost mining time for Justice. As you can see, very tight on minerals now is Justice. That definitely did hurt him a little bit there.
So we've sort of entered this stage of the game where it's starting to look more like a chessboard. The players are starting to take more of the map. We're on 3 bases. If this continues, they'll quickly develop into 4 bases. When does this start to get aggressive, do you think?
Very quickly. Very, very quickly. In like moments. The only thing
Justice is
if Arcade's really proactive right now and kept doing vulture raids on the 3rd base of Justice, that would kind of like delay him and hold him back a little bit. But right now he's not doing that, so now it's time for Justice to roll out, which is what I was just saying a moment ago. It's time to go. So he's now going to roll out forward with his tank, setting him up in the siege line, trying to bust through on the southern threshold. Arcade has quite a nice little tank line here to fight his back, but there's so many tanks on both sides, it's hard to call it. But I think with these additional tanks being set up in the northern flank, I think Arcade's done it, and he's held off the initial wave from Justice that tried to steamroll through the southern threshold. Didn't quite set up a strong enough tank line to bust through there. So it's going to have to kind of just be leading a few units into him if he's not careful as these tanks keep rolling
he's
forward.
going to lose more tanks here.
There are another vulture run by going into the natural of Justice right now. Going to be sniping some of these SCVs. There's not a lot of units here to defend this, so you might get quite a few SCV kills. Finally dropping down back below Arcade's SCV count once more. 61 to 62 SCVs, so evening up those SCV counts a little bit more further. But unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to make much progress of his own, because he did lose quite a few siege tanks from Justice pushing forward there, and I think Justice wants to keep pressing the issue. I don't think he wants to give up anytime soon. He might try and jostle for position and snipe more of these tanks and keeping the pressure on here.
We're bleeding a lot of extra units. I don't think that a push is really possible here. And instead, the Bell's been told now, and Arcade is packing up and moving forward and going to engage into Justice, and he's just got so many tanks. So we clean this up. Now where do we go from here? If you're Arcade, do you continue pushing in? Do you just sit back and try to establish that fourth?
Well, I think right now he wants to just establish the fourth and mainly control the center. In an ideal world, he would want to be able to set up and siege up on this cliff that he's moving up to now. He wants to hold this position as the bare minimal he wants to achieve. He's not able to do that. Justice is making him fight for it and trading off a lot of his siege tanks to do so. So it might be a little bit of a mistake from Arcade, overextending here a little bit, desperate to control this high ground at the 6 to zone out Justice from being able to take the 6 o'clock expansion. And then if he keeps pushing from the west, he'd be able to starve him out from the 9 o'clock position, and also would then keep him on 3 bases while also having a 4 of his own. Would basically starve him out of the game, but it looks like Arcade having to pay a bit of a price to establish that. Justice wants to keep fighting for it and not let him set up there, or at least keep him far enough back where he can still take this space at the 6 o'clock and still hold on to it.
This is wild. I mean, for a TBT, this is incredibly fast-paced, and neither one of these players wants to let go of this central position here at this high ground. It's such a valuable piece of real estate.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because if Justice loses control of this area, he can just like strangle him out of the 6 o'clock base, and all those SCVs are dead for free, and then he's back down to 3 base economy. He doesn't want that to happen, and Arcade really wants to push up on this high ground. It just basically makes his tanks so much more cost effective. A great place to force them to have to trade into.
Oh, and meanwhile, some vultures get in at the 3 o'clock position. There's already a siege tank set up. Ooh, the vultures go down.
It's a shame they don't have mines to plant on the tank. It's been pretty interesting to blow up that tank with mines.
Yeah. Did get a couple kills, but I don't. Nothing really noteworthy.
Right now, Arcade's doing a much better job of producing units and trading, and now he's going to go forward. He wants to shuffle all the way over to the far left of that cliff and completely decimate the tanks from the high ground. Justice in a little bit of trouble now. Using a lot of his tanks, although did do a good job of that last volley from his tanks. Actually did shred a lot of the tanks that were in a forward position, so actually did a good job of forcing Arcade back a bit there, but Arcade's still ahead by about 15 or so supply, but down 6 workers, so it's a very precarious situation. Justice has a little bit more economy, a little bit less army.
Yeah, and Arcade has to be careful, and if he's paying attention, he'll notice the difference in upgrades. Justice has that +2, whereas he does not.
I don't think they were on top of their upgrades, because their +2 weapons attack is a little bit delayed. If one of them had been on time with getting that weapons upgrade, I think that the game would be a lot more one-sided right now if one side was able to get that +2 weapons to start two-shotting tanks. Oh, it looks like Justice has got his two weapons online.
Nice drop here at the 6 o'clock.
2 Goliaths in a tank. It's going to be a very cost-effective drop, forcing vultures to come down and having to defend this, and actually going to be cleaning up those units as well. So
wow,
now the SCVs as well going to be pulled off the line and going to be taking some economic damage as well. So really effective drop from Arcade here, just a dropship 2 Goliaths in a tank doing wonders.
Oh, meanwhile, did it seem as though... Did I miss it? Did Arcade try to push in a little bit? Because it looked like he lost some of the siege tanks that were on this high ground here. Or did Justice simply reinforce and I didn't pay attention? Because there's a huge gap in the number of tanks now.
Yeah, I don't know where all of Arcade's tanks are. I know he's loading up dropships right now as well, so a lot of the tanks may have been loaded up into dropships, the ones that he's been producing recently. We have some vultures running out on the map. Might be hitting this third base of Justice soon. Looking for a 4th right now. Are these vultures going to be finding 2 of Justice's own vultures and maybe moving out to cause some economic damage soon? Would be nice to see if he can find some damage, because he is currently behind in SCV count, so any damage he can do now would be great to kind of even out his position, and he is looking pretty good. He's got a great position on the map. Controlling this 6 o'clock high ground is really crucial for Arcade, and he's starting to take expansions, but it's like we're going to have some vultures from Justice finding the SCV train coming into the top right base. So going to get some damage done and thin out the SCVs while also building his own. So now we have 70 SCVs for Justice and only 57 for Arcade. So Justice doing a really good job of kind of creating a larger and larger disparity in economies between these two players. Now an advantage of 10 SCVs, similar supplies. So Arcade still ahead on Army a little bit, but yeah, finding himself in a bit more of a deficit in terms of how many SCVs.
Yeah, a little bit of drop action happened down at the 6 o'clock again. Arcade with 3 drop ships doing the drop, but Justice did a pretty good job of cleaning it up, and not a lot of economic damage was sustained. Oof, losing a lot of units here in the center from the mines, a lot of gas units. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, 3-2 upgrades now on Justice's tanks as well, so really far ahead in the upgrades. It's going to help him out trading until Arcade can catch up with that, but Arcade doing a much better job of starting to take all of these expansions. It's going to be expanding vertically, splitting the map in half, controlling the center, and the high ground on the 6 is then going to start to try and strangle out Justice from this map, and he's now shifting over some of his army to the middle west of the center. He can start controlling these areas up here as well. It's going to be a really bad situation for Justice if he starts getting squeezed out of this map.
Yeah, and I liked this little skirmish force at the 1 o'clock that Justice sent in, but lost the vultures pretty quick, and the 2 tanks are unsupported now, and Arcade's just going to clean that up, no problem.
His position's looking very good for Arcade positionally, and in terms of how much army he's got. The only thing that he's got going against him right now is the fact that Justice is ahead in SCV, so he does have a slightly more powerful economy behind this, although he has very, very little map positioning. So he's kind of like all of his base is squeezed into this one quadrant in the bottom left. He does have two ninja expansions going up into the top left quadrant as well, but that's very easy for Arcade to shut down. And we do have a streamline of vultures now making their way into the top
Here they
left.
come.
That's going to be able to shut down anything. That's yeah, GG.
GG.
Wow.
Justice may be feeling a little bit cornered in there.
Yeah, that's what I would call a tactical win, because you've basically used your map positioning to force him into a GG, because it's very hard for him to play out of that situation.
Right, yeah.
That was a positional win there, for sure. It's a really good understanding of the matchup from Arcade, I would say, how he was positioning and what areas he was really determined to control. Like, he fought so viciously for that 6 o'clock high ground, and there's a few things like that, and he did a good job of mining up the center of the map. And I think he understands TVT a lot more than Justice seemed to.
Yeah, I can't recall. I think this is one of the matchups Justice needs a little bit more focus on. He's been more focused on it lately, too. I think typically his TVZ is like really, really good. That's his really strong matchup. But yeah, he's been expressing a little bit of interest in wanting to get better at TVT.
Yeah, TVT's a very, very difficult matchup to really get your head around, but a lot of people really do like it because you have to, it's kind of like a thinking man's game. Once you start thinking about how you can exploit the terrain of the map and how you can get positional and whatever advantages over your opponent, you can kind of think tactically in a way that you can't really do in other matchups. So it kind of is kind of interesting like that. If you are into a more slower tactical style like chess, can be really interesting once you start to understand how to navigate the ebb and flow of the game states.
Yeah, I enjoy the matchup. It's very strategic. You can sit back and think about it. It's nice. Much slower pace.
Okay, that brings us to our first game 3. It's gonna be on Polypoid. So let's get into it.
Alright, partner. Bone rolling, baby. You know what that is.
All right. In the bottom left corner, it's Justice. And in the top left corner, it's Arcade Plus. Good luck, have fun to his opponent.
Good luck, have fun. So they're buddies.
All turn players are buddies.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah. I mean, they bond over their mutual hatred of the other races. They all share the same pain. It's true. Manadog says, we have meetings. Terran meetings. Is this like the Illuminati or something?
Illuminati.
You have meetings? It's strange. We Zergs
Yeah.
just have dog piles.
Speak for yourself.
Like a grief counseling group.
Book.
That's what you mean by meetings, yeah. That makes more sense. I mean, if it was like an Illuminati type thing, I would expect more maps to be Terran favorites instead of the other way around.
Alright, but here's the real question, boys. Yellow or navy blue?
Yellow is way better than navy blue.
I think so too, yeah.
They're both good, but I think yellow is slightly better.
I like it. There's already Terran naturally has like a kind of gunmetal black already, and it contrasts really nicely with the yellow. I feel, whereas the navy, I feel like it's not as aesthetically pleasing on the eyes. A little bit more on the eyesore side of things.
Yeah, like all the metallics that's in the Terran structure is very dark.
Here's
The
something
yellow
I wonder if you
light.
guys have noticed this, but in remastered, the center light of the barracks blinks in the color of the player, whereas in the original it was just a normal light. See if we can see it here.
Yeah,
You're right.
Dada dropping some knowledge bombs.
I noticed that at some
What?
point, and now I can't
Mind
unsee
blown.
it. Yeah, the center
Plays
light is
mind
like,
blown right now.
yeah.
Why? Why just the center one? Why
Yeah,
does
I
it
know.
change at all?
It's
Why
like
not?
if you have a red Terran, it blinks red, and yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It's not like that in the original graphics. Yeah, I just noticed
like
that at
that.
some point, and now I can never unsee it.
Okay, so if I'm following this correctly, they're both gonna last scout each other, correct?
Yeah, I suppose so. I think. Oh, is he gonna turn left? Yep. Yeah, they're both gonna get approximately. Well, Arcade's gonna get a slightly faster scout, and it's gonna see the vulture.
He's gonna see the command center timing too. That's really important.
Missed shot there. Gets up the ramp.
And pretty mirrored builds from here, I would say.
Except we have an add-on for arcade, and we have add-on lists for justice, pumping vultures after vultures so far.
Yeah, just 2
Indeed.
on gas as well for Justice.
Now we see a third factory coming down from arcade as well.
Okay.
And
for
the
that.
third factory from
Yeah.
Justice.
I think we're gonna have some vulture wars, boys. Ooh, it's gonna get high mechanical here. Exact same SCV count, pretty much identical army count, both going for free factory vulture. Ooh, it's gonna get hot in here.
Are we going to see
He's
the
moving
barracks
forward.
landed in the natural? Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. It would be cool to see some utilization.
Oh, this is
from it.
huge for Justice getting the first
Oh
volley off
my
and killing the
God,
Vulture.
yeah.
This could be game if he decides to push here. Instead, deciding to just take that advantage and run back to the high ground. Really nice
Hmm.
pick off for Justice there, picking off those Vultures. So, going to be putting him slightly ahead. And if he can keep pumping out units and come back in for another attack soon, he might have just a simple numerical advantage and just steamroll Arcade. Arcade going to be careful here and throw down some extra defenses. Going to be building a supply depot to act as kind of like a wall and something to help bug out the other Vultures of Justice from getting too much surface area. So going to do what he can with what he has got, but it's going to be maybe a slightly too many Vultures for him to handle if he's not careful.
I think
If
it
he's
might have
sitting
been
back
worth.
to bank up. Go ahead, Dada.
I just wanted to say, I think it might have been worth it to just edge forward a little bit and pick up the Marine. Because there's no way you can remake a Marine, so then his barracks just stays there forever.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting point, although he could just lose the game if he commits to killing the Marines so much that all of Arcade's start fragmentation grenades start ripping through his Vultures, and then he's just behind on Vultures and he got counterattacked. And Justice right now has his speed and he's got position on Justice right now, so Arcade did a really
kicks
good
in
job.
at the same time for both players. Fantastic.
Arcade did a really good job of coming around the back there of Justice and sweeping out some of those Vultures. So now has kind of turned the tables a little bit. So I'm interested to see who's going to be able to get the better of one another here, because as Arcade streams down, there's Vultures already on the high ground for Justice on the eastern side, so you're going to be able to flank him from both sides, but Arcade doesn't seem to mind. He's just going to go rolling into the expansion. Now finally Justice is going to be coming in from behind, getting on top of the Vultures, starting to spray them down, but there's just slightly too many Vultures, I think, for Arcade to break through here, so he might have to just try and disengage without losing too many, but did take a lot of damage for that.
Did you see that? That one Vulture was slowing down all the other Vultures for a moment. Oh, he's coming back in.
Wow, this is kind of daring to come back in like this after knowing and seeing how many Vultures that Justice has. And you have to get a lot of value here because you're closing yourself in. Like you're digging yourself into a hole doing this. You're not getting those units out this time.
How many factories do we have for Justice right now? Okay,
a lot more
getting
coming up.
serious right now, and looks like also Justice getting serious in the front. There is a tank to try and plug up this hole, and it's not yet mines to lay down. So this tank will soak up a lot of hits, but Justice just targeting down all of the SCVs and Vultures of Arcade, so it's doing quite a bit of damage to him. He could in fact just ignore the tank and just kill the SCVs.
Kill the SCVs, yes.
Gets so far ahead by killing some of these SCVs, and there is currently mines for Arcade, but he doesn't need mines to deal with Vultures, so if only Justice had mines there to lay on top of that siege tank, would have been huge, unfortunately. Could have maybe also sniped up a lot more of those SCVs.
Yeah, his mines kicked in just a few seconds ago, so the timing is just a little bit off there and unfortunate.
Yeah, a little bit of an anti-timing, unfortunately, for him.
Now, they're on a level a number of SCVs, so it's a fairly even economy, would you say, except Justice is not mining his nat gas.
Mm-hmm. But Justice is trying to get damage down with these Vultures, and he's trying to find game-ending damage, but kind of got really unlucky there, because if he did have mines and laid them down for those tanks, he could actually just snowball that into a win and just keep running Vultures into the main base and laying down mines on top of the factories, and would have easily snowballed that into a win from that position. But as it stands, Arcade now having the wall plugged up and pretty tight, might actually just be able to hang into the game and draw it out a little bit longer. He is currently down in supply though by 30, so Arcade has a lot less army than Justice right now, but he is going to stay alive for the time being. He has got this walled up nicely, so these Vultures will not be enough to finish the game on their own, at least for the time being.
I think just based on what we see in Justice's base, he's gone up to 5 factories. I think he's looking to close this out pretty soon.
Yeah, we see a lot of vultures and mines here for Justice, but this isn't really sufficient to break that position. You would need a lot more vultures to be able to break through that wall. So he might still go for it, and maybe he gets lucky with trying to lay down mines on top of these tanks. It can still happen, and he does have 2 tanks of his own to try and push forward there. Although he did just take a tank shot on that siege tank himself. So leading up a little bit of his units here, needs to be careful when the Wraith will pepper these tanks for infinity until they decide to retreat, or he decides to send an SCV to start building some turrets up there. Or so that Wraith actually going to be a little bit annoying and force him to abandon that position while waiting for a Goliath.
Yeah, and now I think Justice has realized that this is no longer a path that we can continue going down. So he's taken his nat gas, he's mining that now. He's researched siege, that's finished. I'd like to see him add another add-on. I'd like to see the armory be spinning, and I'd probably like to see a starport be going down as well. He's being very active on the map, though, so a lot of his attention is with this huge cluster of vultures and the 2 tanks that are being chased relentlessly by this Wraith.
These Wraiths are going to get more and more annoying. He has built some Goliaths to try and deal with these, so we'll be able to clean those up soon, but for the time being, they're being super annoying.
Okay, interesting. And also Justice taking his 3rd now, decisively at the 9 o'clock, closer, pointing kind of towards Arcade. Unfortunately, bleeding off some more of these units, losing the Goliath for free.
I think he's gonna see this expansion when he flies his dropship over.
I would hope so, yeah. And he needs to start doing something about it, because he can't just stay on 2 bases for the entire game. So eventually he's going to have to start making plays and making moves. So good, if he wanted to slow down this command center being built, would be a start.
Oh, he's not dropping out a vulture.
Yeah, instead he's going to go straight into the natural. Try and get as much economic damage as possible. Oh, straight into the main?
Right into the main, baby.
I'm surprised he didn't drop 2 vultures in the natural and then continue on the main to drop the other 2. But as it stands, going to be dropping 4 vultures into the main base and start gunning down SCVs. Justice desperately trying to get his own rallied units back home to defend and clear these up. But Arcade doing a pretty good job of target firing down these SCVs and has killed so far about 8 of them. Pretty sizable amount of economic damage there.
Yeah, that must have been... I think it was a little bit more. I think it was closer to a dozen. That was pretty good.
Yeah, definitely a sufficient amount of damage there for those vultures. Getting good value and getting the dropship out was nice.
I don't want to see him lose these raids here at the 9 o'clock. So I hope Arcade pulls them back in time. Not going to pull one back in time.
Ooh.
Lose that. The other one dangerously close.
Wow, that Wraith was blasting off with Tabasco sauce right there. Absolutely destroying them with those Hellfire missiles.
And we can see Arcade 2 dropships, one loaded with 2 tanks, the other loaded up with just 3 vultures. I see. He's going to use them to bypass the minefield and clean up this 12 o'clock.
So does he know this is there?
Taking it?
I'm not sure if he knows this is there. Command center's floating over, though. I think he just kind of unloaded, like...
Imagine if he landed those tanks on top of those mines. That'd be embarrassing.
Oof. Yeah, okay, their scan goes down, so Justice knows what's up.
Gonna lay down some more mines on top of these tanks before the other 2 could siege as well. So are they gonna retreat into the 2 mines and get absolutely blown apart?
Wow, what a spectacular cleanup from Justice.
That scan you just saw, that was Justice's scan. It wasn't Arcade's scan.
Sick mine hits there.
Oh, I see. Very cool.
I loved that he was aggressive and pushed him into the mines as well. It's nice getting maximum value out of those mines.
This raid's gonna get picked off now, but it definitely earned its keep in this game. But despite that, despite the fact that that was a nice
Oh, please
let me
pull
see
this
here.
command center back.
yeah, he needs to pull that back, and I think Justice is just becoming too big to fail at this point.
Yeah, and coupled with that, Arcade, I think, is feeling the pressure to make something happen now. So he's going to push
Yeah.
out in a very not ideal situation. I mean, he's just going to get surrounded here, picked off. There's plenty of tanks on the high ground for Justice. The vultures come in. Yeah, I mean, the battle speaks for itself.
It's just so much more army for Justice. There's just no way Arcade can keep up with this. And now, like, he's going to be so fully contained. He's going to have to tap out. GG.
GG.
GG. Wow, that
Wow.
was a very good series. Very good TVT. Yeah, that's gonna be a 2-1 for Justice, and just kind of having a little bit better understanding of the matchup, I feel. Very active play, moving the units up, getting a very good position, and just powering on, making CCs, making factories, making units, taking over the map. Very well played
Yeah.
by Justice.
I liked how Justice kind of like flipped the script on Arcade there and kind of showed him that he knew as well how to take advantage of positional plays like that, and yeah, definitely showing that he also understands the TVT matchup well and can exploit those good setups and positions.
That means we are now in TVZ land, because our last 3 games are all going to be TVZs. TVZs or ZVTs.
Try saying TVZ 3 times fast.
TVZ,
Yeah.
TVZ, TVZ.
What we got coming up here?
That's what we got coming up as the best matchup in the game. What?
Say what?
Forte, I've got the game ready to go.
Ah, yes. Allow me to join.
So our first game is going to be Launch versus Kimura.
What a matchup. Launch and K1, baby. The king.
So I got a question from Mars in the chat saying what the MMR range is for Tier 1. The Tier 1 MMR range is pretty wide this season. It's actually the widest MMR range. I think the range is like from... I don't know it off the top of my head, but I think it's like 1550 to like 1800 or something. Or like 1750 or something.
Sounds about right.
Manadog saying it's 900 to 2000. Yeah. That's what it feels like. I don't know if that's what it actually is, but it's what it feels like sometimes. Okay, so let's get into the first map for Launch versus Kimura. It's gonna be a Neo Sylphid. Let's get into it.
All right, Dada, I can probably do like 1 or 2 more, then I'll have to bounce. That's cool.
Yeah, no problem. Sounds good.
Aww.
Aww.
Just for you, I'll do a quick introduction. Spawning the 12 o'clock position, it's none other than your boy, Street Fighter, spawning as the nice blue Terran.
Yeah.
His opponent, the bottom right on this beautiful map. It is Arcade Launch as the pink zone.
Yeah, this is like this is the baby color. It's like baby girl pink.
Baby girl pink.
Yeah.
It's baby Zerg.
It's,
Baby Zerg, yeah.
Baby
It's a
Zerg.
very fleshy Zerg.
Yeah.
fleshy.
Yeah, yeah.
Exposed muscle fibers, fleshy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Check out the muscle fibers on that Zergling's adrenal glands. Woo!
the muscle fibers. Hey baby, check out my muscle fibers.
Damn, girls, that tail natural? Did you get muscular augments?
Yeah, Shimmer, feel free to jump in if you want to.
Yeah, Shim, feel free to slide in soon. I'll be dipping after a game or two.
Do it.
Slide in, Shim. Gonna be seeing a very quick 9-pool gas from Mr. Lounge. Oh no, we're gonna be cancelling it just for the. It took a while to cancel it. Like it was just so he could squeeze out an extra drone.
Oh yeah. Actually, to be honest, I thought he was gonna keep it, but
yeah, he kept it for such a long
could.
time. I thought it was gonna be a gas build, but no, it's just delayed cancelling it for a moment there.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. I do the gas trick, and then I realize, oh wait, I have to wait like 1 cycle or 2 cycles for my drones.
You just miss a little bit of mining time. It's alright. It's not a big deal.
It's like sometimes your drones all just sync up somehow. God, this STG being kept out of the main. Sometimes they all just sync up, and they all like they get. You need like 8 more minerals for something, but like you get like 30 minerals in one go because they're all synced up. It's like the most annoying thing ever.
Now, these Link's just going to ignore the SEV scout and get right out onto the map, although he hasn't yet found him, so the Links are going to be unfortunately going into the wrong direction.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah. Now, it is actually quite easy to defend this if you scout it. You can just plug up the gap with 4 to 5 SEVs, and your second Marine should be there on time, so it's quite easy to defend these days.
Yeah, if you're the Zerg, I feel like you can be a bit more out in the open with your Overlord because you know you're going to have links behind it. Yeah.
No, he should have tried to flown his Overlord to this middle bit here, this middle cliff area, just below where the Marines are now. He should have been a lot more aggressive with that Overlord position.
Yeah, because the Overlord is safe. The Marines are not going to pick it off when there's links on the map.
And if it was 9-pool versus 8 racks, he'd be in a good position anyway, unless it was a Mickey Mouse wall he could fly back to. So he should have done that either way, to bait out the Marines. So you're right. But the Lings come out and get on top of these Marines potentially because looks like Street Fighter was being a little bit cocky and taking his expansion way too soon, walking out here with the 4 SCVs and 3 Marines, and going to be losing all those Marines very quick, short order. And now maybe getting these few snipes on these SCVs trying to build this command center and slowing down his expansion timing. So not really a good news for a Street Fighter here. And he might even get the cancel on the command center. This is huge.
Okay, so it comes out. He's going to try to clean it up. Oh. Back on top. Around.
Why is the game lagging right now?
Animal noises.
So I'm turning into a Zergling, slowly but surely here.
Oh my god, I feel exactly like you feel. It's like insane how close this was. I think he's held it now.
Ooh. He's getting on top of the race. The other race low. Get him! Get him! Sorry, I got excited there for a second. Hello, Zerg player getting a little bit excited.
He didn't make
out with a ling.
Yeah, I think if he'd made all lings, he would have just killed him. I think he can snowball it from there, but yeah, he was making a hatch and just progressing normally. So yeah, the lair's coming up.
Well, yeah, you know, he delayed the CC a good amount.
Yeah, it was good damage. Yeah.
Did he just now transferring at 4 minutes 48 with the naturals? Definitely did a lot of a slowdown there, and even keeping some SCVs off the line, worried about a more of a ling run by coming up. So more lost mining time. 19 drones to 23 SCVs. That's pretty good for the Zerg. Looking pretty good, I would say. 24 SCVs to 20 drones. That's pretty nice. Spire now going down at 5 minutes. It's going to be very late muter timing, but as long as he doesn't die before then, I would say he's in a pretty okay position. Though there is some option for some counterplay here because the Spire only just went down. He could see his third base or natural be pressured by these Marine move out and be forced to make some sunkens early. Would be kind of crippling to his economy a little bit if Street Fighter identifies that he can put on some pressure to it. And that's actually going to be a Hydralisk Den at the third base.
Yeah, baby. I was waiting for you to see it.
So it looks like, okay, we're going to have a little bit of a tech fake out. He's going to be maybe expecting muters, but actually, going to be seeing some lurkers running down into the front maybe in a couple of minutes here. Not only to contain the Terran, but kill him. So could be absolute fireworks here for IRK launch if he catches his Terran off guard. There's only 1 bunker to defend this. It's going to be a nightmare situation. You need at least 3 bunkers to defend that kind of aggression.
Yeah, we'll see if he can maybe sniff it out. If he's getting scans up anytime soon. Okay, he's getting scans in his main right now.
He's making missile turrets.
Yeah, he's making the missile turrets, anticipating the mutas.
Yeah,
He's
a
scouting
muta
the
missile
side.
turrets. Yeah.
He's completely faked out by this. He completely has no idea. He thinks it's mutas, and who can blame him? I mean, it does look like it would be mutas, and unfortunately, I think he's going to get a little bit blindsided by that. And being forced to make turrets you don't need, when those every 2 turrets you make could have been a barracks. I mean, like, it's a big deal. Okay, having to make turrets you don't even need.
He
Right,
just
yeah.
scanned the natural and saw no tech. He doesn't know where the third base is. He didn't see it with his SCV.
Right, so there's no confirmation of even a third base existing, let alone it having secret tech
Oh.
that you're not aware
And
of.
he sees the main, he sees the spire. He's still completely fooled. He doesn't know what's going
Yeah.
on. The first hydras are out.
This is great that RK Launch decided to build his den at his third, because the Terran just isn't going to scan it, and so is completely sold on this
my God.
idea.
Look,
He's
look at all
making
these
more
missile turrets.
No. Oh no, not like this.
This is so tilting. All these missile turrets here are completely pointless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really unfortunate. He's been really sold on it. It's a great little
And
mind game
Lurker-
from RK Launch here. He's really sold him on this idea that it is going to be 3-hat muta, but it just isn't.
And Lurker is done. The upgrade. And there's the first eggs. He's gonna find these if he keeps moving out, though.
This is the one thing that Street Fighter could have going for him, is if he does get on the map with his Fire Force and does shoot the lurkers before they can get to his base.
I think he should be
can-
suspecting it by now, because the mutas haven't arrived yet.
Oh, here he
my
comes.
God.
Yeah, he's
finds
gonna
them.
find them.
Yeah, so now what he really needs to do is snipe as many of these lurkers before he can get contained by them. So he starts gunning down the lurkers out in the middle of the map.
Oh,
It's
he's
quite
running
hard
them
for
away.
RK.
Oh,
they're drilled.
what a lot of damage.
They were drilled on top of each other and bugging out a little bit. So that's really nice for Street Fighter there, getting a lot of damage on those lurkers and forcing him into a more defensive posture rather than aggressive, which is exactly what he wants. He doesn't want to let these lurkers contain him, or he's in a nightmare situation. So really good for him there to push out on the map and take advantage of the fact that those lurkers aren't as strong out in the open like that.
Now he just needs to know about the third. He's still not sure where it is. He hasn't scouted it yet. Okay, scan goes down. He's going to check the front of the net. That looks pretty nasty. I don't think you want to walk into that.
No, we definitely can't do any damage to the Zerg. The Zerg is essentially invincible for the foreseeable future. One thing we can do is prevent the Zerg from containing us, and we can be proactive with that and keep our bio at the front and try and contain both locations.
Hydra just walking by. It's like,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
saying. It's beach day, Mr. Marine, and I'm gonna go and get my tan on.
oh. But the fact that he doesn't know about this third base and he hasn't added any extra defense means that Launch could run a couple of lurkers around the army here. More scans going down, and he still doesn't see the third.
RK Launch gonna be taking a fourth base as well here on the left-hand side.
Yeah,
That's
look at him
fine.
going for it.
That's perfectly fine, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, he's not going to get a kill move anymore.
Most certainly not. Once there's like 3 lurkers and 2 sunkens, it's really hard to bust into that with just bio. And there's plenty more lurkers than that, so he's going to be more than fine for the foreseeable future. Probably going to be able to get his 5 out with Defiler Mound on the way soon, but there will be some timing here for, if Street Fighter wanted to, he could make a couple of dropships before Vestals and go for a very quick semi-all-in into the main base or third of Launch. Or he could go up to like 2 to 4 vessels and then make dropships. That would be another option here for him to put on some pressure to try and take advantage of the fact that Defilers won't be out just yet.
He's going vessel first, so ostensibly with the second port finishing it down, that'll make vessels as well.
Yeah, one of the Marines just got killed at that third base, so he knows about its existence now. But it doesn't really matter. I don't think he can break it. And 4 lurkers moving out now, heading straight for a natural.
Nice little surround
Wow.
on those lurkers.
Fantastic cleanup.
Yeah,
Really well
picking
done.
those up about as cost efficiently as you could ever hope for.
That was a very dice rolly move on Launch's part. I gotta respect it, but oof, I don't know. Now we're 4 lurkers short.
But he does need another squad of Marines out here containing this third base. It's not enough to just contain the natural. You also need to have a small bioforce at this third base location as well. He is going to sneak into this base on the left of this Marine. So, going to be definitely confirming that this base is here. And if he wanted to, could come out and put some pressure on it.
Oh, he's going to wait.
Tuck itself into the corner there.
Yeah, but he is going to make a sunk, so this is not actually going to work.
Well, he can just... I would actually think it'd be smarter for him to shoot the Nidus canal there. Would be a lot smarter, actually. You want to shoot the Nidus there, buddy?
Yeah, he knows this third base can't really be broken, but this base can definitely be denied here.
Yeah, he's going to be able to deny that. It's going to be a nice pickup for him.
Oh, there come the lurkers.
Yeah, I did want him to target down that Nidus first, so actually does get the units out of it. So not quite able to take out the space as he might like to, but going to be able to snipe off the gas at least. Viola hasn't yet cast the Dark Swarm. The Marine shuffling over to the left-hand side, going to get some drone kills instead, and it'll be a nice little pickup for him at least. And another consume on the drone, and a Dark Swarm. Just putting his lurkers over there to finally knock that attack down, prevent any further damage. So finally launch going to stabilize that expansion and keep his 4 bases going. So it's pretty good for him. But see, Street Fighter's chosen to take this third base as it's good that he's got a third base, though it's not the best expansion to take. There's not a lot of resources in this base, so it will dry up relatively quickly.
I like to think of them as like stepping stone bases. Like the next step needs to be like another base.
Right, but he's only going to really make full of use of that gas for like 5 minutes, then it's going to be all dried up. So he needs to make that stepping stone count and make sure he can actually secure more bases from it.
Correct.
Now going to be forced back by more and more lurker and compiler action. Launch going to be trying to jostle for position and force back the bioforce from containing him too deep. Also some pressure going on at the 4th base location, but those Marines being dealt with very quickly by the lurker spines up there already, so not having any problems with holding onto this base so far as launch. If he gets up to this 4 gas economy, it's going to be explosive. You're going to see a huge amount of tier 3 units like Ultralisk being streamlined out soon, I imagine, if he does get this 4th gas going.
He's moving around the center here with these Scourge, trying to look for some vessel snipes.
Well, it looks like he might actually be wanting to go into Hydra Lurker Ling. It looks like he's wanting to get Hydra Lisk upgrades and maybe stay into a more Hydra-centric composition and delay the Ultralisks for now.
Oh yeah, you're right. That missile weapon's on the way. It's a little bit of a telegraphing right there.
Yeah, I would say definitely so. He wants to try and be really cost-effective, which this is the very most cost-efficient way you can play against Bio right now, with the Plagues and the Hydralisks picking off Marines that are on reduced HP and can actually fight vessels really well. Hydralisks can, so actually is a very good composition to use against Bio. It can be really hard for the Terran to deal with.
Look at how much bio there is on the map. This is quite a force.
Yeah, but as long as he continues to make Defilers and Dark Swarms, it'll be very hard for Zerg to be broken here. And it looks like Launch is being proactive and pushing out to the choke point. This is really good, actually, denying the Terran from being able to just walk into the main base and have some terrain to maneuver. Instead, going to force him to come through a tight choke. So I like that, setting himself up to be better defensively and also ready to take another base eventually as well.
That was a great move to re-seize control of your base there.
I would say so.
Okay, so let's take stock of where we're at. We have 2-1 upgrades on the infantry. We have +3, +2 on the way. +2 is going to kick in pretty soon.
Great plague on the vessels.
Oh yeah. He's going to move forward with these Hydras now. He's going to get the picks. Oh.
Street Fighter's got another another Starcraft on the way as well, so going to be able to build out his fleet even more soon, maybe with something other than just vessels, maybe dropships or BCs or something else of his desire. It looks like looks like he wants to lay down siege on the left-hand side of the map, and he wants to get rid of this 4th gas, I think, quite desperately. He wants to hit this base, but it's going to be very hard for him to attack into there. He needs a lot of irradiates, maybe even defense matrix to the... Good defense matrix, a firebat, run it past the lurkers to draw the fire and then snipe them down.
Dropship on the right side, taken down for free by 2 Scourge.
Oh my god.
No. Up, up, up.
Oh, that's so tilting.
That's
2 full
unfortunate.
dropships.
By the way, this
rough.
this sunk position is so tilting. Look at the
Oh, yeah,
throws.
that's
Oh
not
my
good.
god.
It's not good at all. It's like a merry-go-round of gas mining there.
Plagues are going down now.
Yeah, beautiful plague on this bio, going to make them much easier to clean up from the hydralisks. Yes, even though Street Fighter's got a lot of supply right now, he needs to be careful because he's basically let this Zerg just chill on 4 gas for free and hasn't really been able to stop him or slow him down. So, okay, Launch now deciding to move out on the 6 o'clock position and going to be cleaning up some of these bio pockets, and eventually we'll be able to get Defilers out on the map, and no longer will Street Fighter be able to stop the Defilers from reaching his bases, and the Scourge just fly in and trade off the vessels while the bio are distracted trying to swipe down that sunken.
Super Spore Colony putting itself to work, taking out another vessel.
Bio is going down, but it looks like Street Fighter's doing a good job of getting in here and sniping off the Nidus to cut off reinforcements, and now going to be cleaning up the remainder of the lurkers. So it looks like he's done it actually, and going to be maybe cleaning up this base here on the left-hand side, and forcing IRK launch into a bit more of a sticky situation. Going to have to be making some moves of its own now that he's lost his base.
That lurker unfortunately unburrowed this whole time. Not that it would make or break it, the situation, but you know, it could make some difference.
There is a defense matrix to fire that out on the field. I always like to see that.
I like
Yeah.
to see that. That's cool.
There's so many fire bats here, actually.
Firebats are really good against even lurkers under Swarm because it's sometimes the only way you can kill them. And if you get enough Firebats and they haven't got quite a critical mass of units, you can actually make short work of the Zerg and splash them down under the Swarms nicely. So Firebats actually really critical in this matchup and helping give you some opportunity to trade even when there's Dark Swarms in addition to nice irradiate as well on the Fighter. They're going to be cleaning that up quickly and going to be slowing down this army from its advance, but there's a lot of Zerg lurkers here, so he needs to make sure he does his best to halt this advance for as long as possible. He does not want to let these Defilers reach his expansions. So far doing a great job of forcing Launch to just have to borrow and swarm up before losing the Defilers so far.
Yeah, and reinforcements are going to meet up with the rest of the Terran forces in the center here, and it looks like with the positioning of the lurkers burrowed here, it's going to be a quick cleanup. Oh, you gotta love it.
Yeah, Hydra Lurker can be so cost efficient sometimes, especially when dealing with small pockets like this. So, although I feel like Street Fighter's doing a great job overall with these 4 bases and being able to control him out on the middle of the map. If he can just delay these Defilers getting to any of his bases, he might be in an okay position. But there's so many lurkers right now.
Yeah, that is a lot of lurkers. Now, unfortunately, we don't really have any Defilers left on the field. The last one just got irradiated and killed. But Launch is still deciding to take the fight to Terran anyway.
Yeah, he can shuffle up on this left-hand side all the way to the 3rd, and I think he is actually going to decide to do that now. He has got the opportunity to do so. If he wants to be more aggressive, now is the time, and it looks like he's identified that, and he's moving in now to the 3rd base, deciding that it's not really going to be well defended, and he's right in thinking that, and just gets on top of the base. The SCVs have been pulled, and he could, if he wanted to, maybe snipe down the command center. Lurkers are also burrowed to fortify the position, so may snipe off this command center here, which would be a little bit of annoying.
Yes, he does. Nicely done.
And that 3rd gas being taken away from Street Fighter is going to be very annoying. Going to be taking the breath out of the wings that he found himself in with that huge income. Now going to be mainly mineral focused, so he'll be focusing a lot more on just pure bio units to try and get back into the game. And I'm not sure how this is going to go from here because he has still got a really sizable lead. He's up in 60 army supply and 20 economy right now. 20 workers, 60 army supply ahead of the Zerg. So he is in a pretty good position where he should be, and he is doing a good job of being very proactive with this huge fleet of vessels, 11 vessels there. just throwing out irradiates left, right, and center. Have thinned out the lurker herd, so to speak, and has done a good job so far of killing all these defilers out on the map with his irradiates. So if he can continue to do so, prevent the Zerg setting up siege on one of these expansions with a Dark Swarm, he may find himself in a really good position. But it looks like Launch trying to get closer and closer to the Terran army. Could throw down a plague on all these vessels if he wanted to. Or a big huge plague, money plague right there. Sometime soon can go in there and pick up a lot of those vessel kills with some Hydras. Looks like Street Fighter a little bit concerned about that and trying to bully out those Hydras with some Firebats. Needs to be careful with how he positions these vessels now, because they can all go down in short order.
Doing a little sloppy job here, moving these infantry forces forward. Lost quite a lot of Marines there. I mean, we could have just irradiated those and dealt with that, no problem.
I'd love him to just make one Mutalisk right now and use that Spire eventually to just make that one Muta that flies in and snipes all the vessels. Would be really nice.
That's always fun to watch.
Yeah, if that happens, I guarantee you're gonna see it in the hype video for CPL 10.
This is turning into a little bit of an epic match. Both sides kind of like going back and forth with who's got the control over the tempo of the game and who's trading more cost efficiently at the time. It looks like Launch going to be, again, pushing back the bio, forcing Street Fighter to be really on top of his vessel control, because just one mistake and all these vessels can go down. They're all on such low HP.
Yeah, and the longer they live, the more free value that K1's going to get out of them. Even if they're at just 1 HP, you know, they're still chugging up energy. They're still going to throw down those irradiates. They're still valuable, so we need to see him try to maneuver something to get in position to deal with these vessels, because that is a lot of vessels.
Yeah, almost got loads of them. But this Hydra is going to start sniping off some of them. They pop like absolute popcorn, just being obliterated by those acid spines. Damn, son, that's a lot of damage.
Throwing a bunch of needles into a pile of balloons.
The drop in the main base.
In the main, yeah baby.
Being cleaned up quite nicely though from Launch. Kimura not finding too much damage there.
Yeah, good reaction.
Actually, I think he evacuated the drones.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't lose too many drones either, so it was a nice defense there from Launch, not taking much damage from that
More
drop.
vessels going down. And it's an absolute slugfest. These dropships are still here, wow. There's so much going on at the moment, it's like the whole map is on fire right now.
Couple more vessels being popped. Losing a lot of infantry out on the field for free. Have one lurker. Ooh, wow. Okay. A lot more vessels lost. Now we're at a considerably small number of vessels left. And there's a large number of gas units left for Zerg. There's 2 defilers there, there's a bunch of lurkers. We need to be able to do something. Okay, a couple more irradiates go down.
Yeah, it feels to me like the Zerg is very slowly winning this tug of war.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a tough call to make from here, but yeah, I feel like Zerg is starting to, you know, kind of wiggle their way into the center, and I think if Launch can hold the center of the map, you know, he can extend this game out as far as he wants and just take the left side of the map.
Yeah, I would like to see him try to retake that that base he originally had as his 4th.
I like this out of K1. Double expanding. We see at the 3 o'clock and the, I guess, 11 o'clock. Two gas bases. He's going to try to take those. Very ambitious. Okay, looks like he's going to move out. And if we can get both of these Marine forces out on the map to join together, he might be able to posture something strong enough to really produce a threat. So there's still a lot of Zerg left. There's a lot of lurkers. And, I mean, we're down to, what, 5 vessels? So what we're capable of doing, insofar as fencing off the Zerg, is kind of limited now. And we could see with the upgrades, 3-3 melee carapace, 3 missile. This is a very efficient Zerg army we're looking at. It's really starting to show.
Oh, all the vessels going down. Yeah, this is just a Zerg death ball at this point.
Try Dada, got a dip my dudes, didn't we?
Sorry, what was that, Shun?
I got a dip from the cast, that's cool.
Oh, alright. Well, it was nice having you for the cast, Shun, and let's do it again sometime. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, man. It was fun. I'll join in next time.
It was cool. See ya.
See you guys.
See ya.
Alright, so where does that leave us? It leaves us at about the center of the map. Whatever K1 has left is really trying to skirmish through with Zerg, but Launch is just doing such a good job of being aggressive and forcing his way into where he needs to go, denying this expansion here for 3 o'clock.
Oh, and he's scouting the other one. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
The fact that he's scouting,
Yeah.
because when you kill one of the bases, you think like, oh, okay, that was his new base. I killed it. I'm safe now.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you might
fall under that.
you might never even begin to look for the other one. He has so few vessels at this point, and I feel like this is the way you can tell who's winning in a TVC like this in the very late game. When the vessel count begins to get very low, that's when the Terran is on his last legs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's gas starved at the moment. He's got quite a bit of gas bank available, but he is mineral starved for sure at this point. So, from
Yeah.
here, where do you really go? I mean, you're getting plagued, you're getting chewed up by 3-3 cracklings, 3-3 hydras.
Oh, the thing is, Launch has no gas either, and in fact, very low in resources in general. So it's gonna be hard for Launch to make another death ball like the one we saw just now.
Yeah, you're right. Each and every gas he has is depleted.
And he has a sizable army now, but if Kimura is able to trade out here, I think he's still in a good position. Despite the fact that, you know, his army isn't looking too great either. I think at least he will get the opportunity to expand again.
Oh, here it comes. It's probably going to come down to this since the economy has basically imploded. That was a great plague, and I was going to say, I think this fight's really going to come down to the Defiler usage.
Can we get a few more of these vessels? Ooh, I don't think we can. No, just barely don't. Oh, there's a GG from Kimura. Wow.
K1 tapping out, yeah. Good game,
Yeah,
long game.
I kind of, yeah, none of his barracks are spinning. I don't know, I feel like there was still some life left in the game for Kimura. I think he was still doing... Maybe he underestimated, or I should say he overestimated the position of the Zerg. Zerg wasn't in such a great position either.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, he still had a mineral mining base, still had a gas bank. You know, you kind of try to make whatever you can happen. It's still an official game, but, you know, it's 30 minutes in. It's understandable that you'd be tapped out. You know, you're gassed out. Maybe you just want to conserve. You know, there's more games to play.
By the way, guys, if anyone wants to join the cast, if you have caster access on CPL, feel free to hop in. You're always welcome. Okay, well, let's see how game 2 ends up going. I do think that Launch was just slightly better, I think, in every area of the game. In the early game, he had a nice... I think Kimura had a very nice build-up. He had a very nice middle game. He built up a huge amount of bio. He macroed very well. And I think he could have gotten some work done if he'd maybe gone in a little bit faster. What do you think?
More circlings.
Yeah, I think some of it comes down to luck, as chintzy as that might sound. You know, you have to think back to the two drop ships that tried to come into the main.
Yeah, that's
got
right.
Intercepted by Scourge that were just sitting there. I mean, how lucky can you be?
Yeah, by the way, thanks AK E3 for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that Launch took his fights very, very well. I think that was like his strength in this game.
Yeah, he's certainly aggressive.
He just very slightly edged out Kimura in the fight.
Yeah, if he wants to go somewhere, he just picks everything up and he makes it happen.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at game number 2. Is going to be on Vermeer. Let's see how this one goes. Alright, spawning in the top left corner. The winner of the last game, Launch. And in the bottom left corner, it's Street Fighter, aka Kimura. Thank you, AK. I appreciate you too. Appreciate the energy. Appreciate the hype.
Okay, now remember the context here. We're going into this game after having played a 30-minute utter slugfest. So both of these players are probably tired.
Yeah. Or you could say they're warmed up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it all comes down to how your gaming endurance is, if that's like a human attribute.
Yeah, this is something
it could be.
This is something we don't really talk about, and something that's you can't really measure. Like, what is your stamina in a game?
Yeah, you definitely have a stamina, a capacity to play Starcraft. It's a very, very mentally demanding game. Like
Mars pointing out in the chat, it's also when in the day you play. That's actually a pretty important detail as well, because when I play with people from North America, it's usually in the evening for me, and it's a little bit earlier for them. And that's why we usually play in the weekend because of that. And I would imagine that makes a pretty big difference as well. I mean, especially when we play in the evening, for me, I do have a little bit more time to practice that day. Like, I've got a little bit more freedom in deciding, like, okay, I'm gonna do all my stuff today. I'm gonna go to the shop. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do laundry, and then I still have time to practice because the game's in the evening for me. Whereas someone else might be playing the game in the afternoon. They may not have much time to do anything to prep.
Yeah, I know how that feels. There's an ideal time frame that I try to play in because I know most of the people that I know will be on around that time.
Oh, drone almost gets away.
Yeah,
you know, whenever I watch a player like Queen, when I watch him stream, Queen will get in there and he will, you know, go far into the base to see if there's a gas or not. Then he goes back out with the drone and he like hits the Marine once with his drone on the way out, and then still gets it out without losing it.
It's the dream.
Yeah.
Spitting on the Marine on your way out.
Hitting on the Marine, and then the
Marine,
drone gets out with like exactly one hit left. It's amazing.
Yeah. Sometimes those small little details can make the difference.
Yeah.
This is that kind of game.
Yeah. Yeah, especially at that level. You know, at our level, this is tier 1, so it's fairly high level for CPL standards, but... Oh no! Forte! Oh, I got betrayed again! Oh, Forte! Forte! Are you alive?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're good.
Oh, okay. Internet
Blame
not so
my,
Forte.
Blame my shitty North American internet service provider.
Oh, I was like, Forte, what's happening?
Yeah. Occasionally it hiccups a little bit.
My internet recently got upgraded. Like, I got a letter from my my ISP saying, we're gonna upgrade your internet. It's gonna be the same price as before, but it's gonna be better. I'm like, oh, okay.
Ooh,
That
that's
sounds
cool.
nice. Yeah.
I got a letter saying the opposite.
They're gonna downgrade your internet?
No, the service is going to remain the same, but it's going to increase.
Oh. Oh, no. No, it would be nice if they told you the server's gonna become more expensive and it's also gonna get worse.
This is how we do business.
Yeah. We're in Monopoly. What do you go? Oh my god, these links are running in. Oh my god, thank goodness they don't commit to running in there.
Monopoly lings.
Yeah. Well, there's a house there, so you can't actually go in. I guess we can call it a hotel. You know what? SCV just casually strolls into the base.
Yeah, this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, sees the
Anyone's
third
just
hatch.
going to get a free scout here. Third hatch.
Sees
Spire.
sees the fake tech.
Yeah.
Link's running back. What is Link speed? So we see that at least. Oh, drop being researched. Oh my god, are we gonna finish in style?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I wonder what this is going to develop into since we're getting the Spire as well.
Bam. So we've got a full bunker, we've got 2 racks cranking out Marines. Kimura having very good macro in that last game. He knows how to make Marines. He knows how to get out on the map. And drop play is kind of funny, right? I mean, for starters, these Link's trying to find the entrance again. Not gonna get anything done there. But he doesn't have... He's got 1 Overlord over there, but that's not enough to do a real Doom drop. And there's actually Mutas out now, so I guess... I don't know if this is actually gonna come into play. But you at least need to also get Overlord speed and get a couple of Overlords over there. And, you know, Lurkers.
Yeah, we don't even see a Hydralisk Den down, so
Yeah.
I'm curious. There's slow Overlords.
It
They're
feels
not
like
in position.
Yeah, it feels like he committed to this tech maybe a little bit early. It could also be just a legitimate mistake. I mean, I've made this mistake before, and I've since changed my hotkeys so that it's a little bit more difficult to accidentally make Overlord upgrades when I don't want to.
Well, it just finished, so he has it.
Okay.
He's stuck with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not a bad upgrade, and the Hydro Den's down now. Oh, we are getting +1 weapons for the Mutas. So he's going to be on Mutatech for a while. Actually, I guess he's not going to make any more Mutas after this, maybe. Maybe going to get like a couple more. Be able to comfortably one-shot SCVs and do some damage. And maybe in the meantime, he's going to try to set up this drop.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what's going to happen from here. More Mutas are going to pop from the main. These Lings in the center get cleaned up. K1's just had enough. He says, I'm just going to move out. And that's going to force the Mutas to pull back. They're going to have to respect it.
Yeah, with so many Sunks coming down here. His Mutas are all very low.
Yeah, they took a lot of damage from the turrets trying to harass the natural. With 4 missile turrets, yeah, it's really hard to pressure effectively without getting really beat up.
Yeah, and now you're kind of stuck in your base at Zerg. There's no third out. And Kimura is scanning. He's actually going in here with these lings. This feels maybe a little bit premature. Yeah, the mutas were all just a little bit too low. He did make a lot of lings. He actually shaved this down way more than I thought he would. And there's no reinforcements coming yet, so this is actually very weak right now, and this could get picked off very easily.
Yeah, and he keeps swooping out to check out the size and see what's out there,
Yeah.
what's threatening him. But we don't see that there's a whole lot because a lot of the reinforcements are actually out checking for third. And there's a couple more back at home, but nothing is really together. So...
yeah. And he still doesn't have Overlord speed, so I'm not sure how serious he is about doing drops. I think maybe it was an idea that he has given up on by now.
Yeah, I'm trying to mentally navigate this game and where it's at, and I have a lot of questions.
I mean, it's fine if you make the tech and then you decide that no, it's actually not a good idea to do this and not commit to it. But since Kimura's force got picked off in front of the natural, he can actually take this third now and actually get out on the map. Kimura has actually been pretty turtly since that last engage. I actually feel it might have been better for him to get out on the map a bit more.
Well, it's a stage knowing that there's lurkers. It's really difficult without a vessel. You can't really make that call. You might end up walking into a field of hold position lurkers. You lose everything. Everything in under a second.
Yeah, I think at this point you clearly can't move out. I think there maybe was a window for it a little bit earlier, but there's nothing wrong with playing it defensively either, because he knows his vessels are just around the corner anyway.
Okay, and so here are the first two vessels, but it's still kind of hard to do anything here without access to either a radiate or siege tank. Unless you have like some sort of formation, you could put these marines in to efficiently engage, but that kind of requires you to know how to engage lurkers and how to engage them well.
Yeah, he does have a factory with a machine shop. It would be interesting to maybe see a tank push. I don't know if he's going to go for that. Queen's Nest coming down. And the third is finally up. It's not mining yet, but it will be soon.
Oh, no,
Oh, the Scourge gonna snipe a vessel? Ooh, just barely. Manages to save it. Yeah, I think it's a good idea for launch. Just back off here a little bit. And I think this is looking pretty good for Kimura now.
Yeah, my only gripe is the SCV
tank.
count compared to the drone count. I mean,
Yeah, he could be
looking
better
at-
in that regard, for sure, yeah. But the tank
Yeah,
is gonna come out, and it looks like he's gonna do a strong push with the tank, and since the natural and the third are all in the same place, this might be very strong.
yeah, he's got a super strong force out on the map, and he's gonna push out with it and make something happen. We'll see. Gotta
Yeah.
be careful with these lurkers up here. Okay, he sees.
Well,
it,
there's
he
only
knows.
two. I think he can actually just stim forward, and yeah, there we go. Okay, picks those off, and now he's got a clear path. So he should be able to set up here, and I just hope he doesn't lose the siege tank in transit, because there's not much to escort that. A lot of lurkers hatching, though. I think he might be able to push this back before the tank gets here. Oh, yeah, I don't think you should be trying to attack at this point. Actually, this attack is extremely efficient. Wow.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it goes to show that I don't know anything about this game. He's
It's a
sending more
very
units over to this base again. That's kind of interesting.
It's a very challenging game to understand because there are just so many variables, nuances.
Actually, you need a very high IQ to understand StarCraft.
Oh, well, if you say so.
Actually.
Oh,
is this Scourge gonna get the vessel? Yes, it gets the vessel. Wow. No, I take it all back. You don't need a high IQ to play Starcraft. Just need to click some Scourge on the vessel. And then it just dies. One thing that's clear to me watching this game is that Launch is definitely a lurker guy. You got muted guys, you got lurker guys. Launch likes his lurkers.
Oh, you got me thinking. Now, what kind of guy am I?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, it's a matter of I mean, obviously there's you need to be able to use mutas and lurkers, but it's a matter of which one you like to use more. Which one do you prefer to utilize and find damage with and learn the micro efficiently?
Really like them both.
Oh my god, this is a very nice engage actually.
Yeah,
using
that's
the
a lot of Marines.
Yeah, using the links to block the Marines from running away. It was a very well microed attack from Launch. And it's the same as in last game where like... Oh, I didn't even catch that one. It's like Launch is just very good at picking fights. But now we've got these two siege tanks here, and this is actually a pretty serious contain. I don't think it's... It is possible still to break for the Zerg. Because I would kind of imagine that the tech is right around the corner to be able to break out here.
He might actually just unburrow these lurkers and try to muscle his way out. I can definitely see him doing that. I heard that. I heard the Overlord slurping something up.
Yeah.
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
Yeah. I wonder how it feels to travel in an Overlord. Oh my god, is he gonna get another one? He does!
He gets another vessel.
Oh my god.
Doing a really good job of just getting these nice little picks here and there. Those are really gonna add up. He's going for another. He gets it. Oh, nice.
Wait, did he? Oh
yeah,
my god, I didn't
got another one.
I didn't even see that one. That is crazy how many vessels he's lost.
Yeah, I think if we could describe Launch, he's very good at engaging and disengaging, I've noticed.
Yeah, and knowing when to disengage is a very important skill as well.
Yeah.
My god, there's so many lurkers here. It's crazy.
Like, look at this. He's being so patient about this.
Oh, and he sees a weakness here. He's gonna move in with these, unfortunately burrows the lurker in range of the siege tanks. Those siege tanks have such a huge range, and it's kind of annoying to have this bridge here. Kind of, you know, creating a funnel that the siege tank is strong in. He is gonna have to be pushing out with Dark Swarm. But I think he will be able to do it, because he's got a couple of Defilers banked up now.
Yeah, he's got two with plenty of energy.
Yeah. His sunks are actually a little bit in the way now. But Terran is gonna force an engage to happen here with these siege tanks being placed so forward. There come the Defilers.
Oh no.
Oh no, they get picked off. Oh, that is so bad.
Yikes. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this third base might actually fall now, because these lurkers are just being shelled down. So he's gonna have to engage with these. But at the moment, there's nothing forward. Yeah, wow. There's still one lurker under that Dark Swarm. So manages to save his third base.
But really, all he's doing is just mining gas out of it.
Hmm. Yeah, he had to move all the drones away from the minerals. I think now he's gonna have. I think it. Oh yeah, if he puts down a Dark Storm,
He's
he's,
just
gonna have
gonna-
good engage here, and wow.
Yeah, he's just gonna muscle his way in. Like, I'm not sure if that's what we want to do.
Wow. It is absolutely incredible, like, how strong lurkers are in the Dark Swarm. He got such a
Yeah.
perfect burrow off just now. It's like dropping soap in a petri dish. You remember doing that in school?
Yeah, of course.
You do like an experiment with soap in a petri dish or in something, and like everything just moves away from it.
Anyone doing a good job being active with these vessels. Unfortunately, he loses another vessel there.
Oh, lose another defiler as well there. Yeah, I think this is actually still, you know, a great position for Kimura. He is sieging up this little corner of the map for the Zerg. The Zerg's eventually just gonna mine out.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong position for Terran for sure.
Oh, but the plagues are going down now.
Yeah, now that Plague is starting to come into play, we have to be careful about how we position things. But he's
Ooh,
doing a
another
really good
Dark
job.
Swarm,
You know,
yeah.
he's got a fantastic spread. And you know, Launch continues to try to force some space between him and K1 with these clouds that we keep sending units into, but ultimately it hasn't really kept K1 back. In fact, he's just expanding behind all this, having taken a third and now taking a fourth at the 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I do like that he's expanding during this time. Just solidifying your lead. So that even if Zerg does break out of this position, you're still in a good spot.
Yeah, because you know you're in the lead right now. You know if you can just keep him contained. But look, he's got eyes all over the map. He's got Marines and SCVs and little pockets and corners, and you can see it where most of the bases are.
And I think that's one thing that's really helping Kimura in these fights here is his upgrade lead, which is very substantial.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that Zerg doesn't have any missile weapons. Only on
Yeah.
one carapace.
Yeah.
No melee.
It's a bit of a strange position to be in at this point in the game. I guess it's because he's so gas-starved. Yeah, as soon as I mean, Dark Storm is strong, but as soon as it ends, Kimura's muscle is just so... He just has so much muscle on the map.
Yeah, he just pushes his way right back in.
Oh, that's a beautiful plague, though. And yeah, Zerg is still contained. And,
Wow, Raider radiates. All three of those lurkers gonna die.
yeah.
Oh, wait, that one. Yep, you got that one too.
The main is mined out. Only one gas is left, and it's about to be depleted. So Zerg is going to be on a quarter of one gas in a moment. Terran's looking fantastic.
Oh, he lurker dropped the fourth.
Oh, did
Finally.
he? Oh my god.
Use of
Finally we
the
get to see the
upgrade.
drop. Oh.
This is like some 4D chess level. I'm gonna use this upgrade 20 minutes later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he used it. He had it. He used it.
He got a good number of SCV kills with it too.
Looks like there's a big breakout attempt by the Zerg, but... Oh, yeah, he does get the Dark Storm down.
A very strange plague. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was like it plagued like nothing. Like on the side of the Zerg army or something. I don't know what that
must
was
have been
all
like
about.
a misclick.
Maybe, yeah. Oh my god, the Hydras are trying to fight units under Darkstorm as well. Darkstorm stops the Hydra's attack as well, so...
Yeah, that's correct.
And these siege tanks are so strong, but they may just get picked off now by this little force on the left side.
Yeah, there's not anything really protecting them to go down immediately. The third one's surrounded by
The third one's gonna go
Zerglings.
down, yeah.
Yep. And K1 just moving in from all sides.
And again, the Darkstorm runs out, and Kimura moves in, and he just kills off everything that's left for the Zerg. There's a GG.
And launch taps out.
Yeah, very well played by Kimura.
Yeah, very good game.
So that puts us 1-1. I'm really glad he pulled it back, giving us a good series.
Yeah, it's always fun to see series go to the third game.
Yeah, and it was kind of a strange, game plan, I feel, by launch. I think maybe he had something else in mind and then decided to cancel and just play a longer macro game.
Yeah,
But
he must have.
Yeah.
I almost want to like go and interview him and be like, "Hey, man, can you tell me about this game where you got Overlord drops and used it 20 minutes later?"
All right, let's get into game 3. It's gonna be on Polypoid. Alright, in the bottom right corner, I was about to say top right, but the bottom right corner, it's Kimura, aka Street Fighter. And in the top left, it's RK Launch. And yeah, about that last game, I thought the issue is that Launch took that closed third base, which allowed Terran to siege up the entire portion of the map.
Yeah, especially since the game plan was like Defiler Lurker anyway.
Yeah.
Like we could go out and take another main and hold the ramp.
Yeah. But still, he was taking his fights very well, and I think if he'd gotten into his upgrades a little bit sooner, he would have been more than a match for Kimura's force out on the map. I wonder if maybe this was something he just forgot the upgrades and then decided to go, you know, maybe go all in or something, and it didn't quite work, and then you're in such a bad position.
Maybe. It could be anything from, you know, stress or pressure, from exhaustion, you know, think of how long they've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have an idea in mind, something you want to do, some particular strategy you want to pull off, and it doesn't quite work out, and then you have to adjust on the fly, and it can lead to some uncomfortable games.
So we're shaped up here to be very standard on Polypoid.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be, since we're in tier 1, a good case study maybe for the lower tier players to see what a truly standard matchup looks like here.
Hmm. Some scouting going on. First Rax is up, Marines are getting pumped out. But yeah, this was a hatch first from the Zerg. Gas being made. 2 SCVs out. Kimura just being cautious. Making sure he gets that scout off nice and early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you scout first on a 4-player map and you don't find Zerg, if you want to be safe against 9 pool, you send out another scout.
Yeah.
So that you scout both the next positions at the same time and intercept Zerglings and confirm if there are any.
Drone running around the main. Looks like it is gonna get out. It's nice. Oh, does it get
That's
out?
good.
You gotta actually move back.
Able to get out.
Ooh, it was pretty
Yeah, okay.
close. Yeah.
But, sees that there's going to be 2 barracks before the gas goes
Yeah.
down.
That's quite
And,
nice. It was a good scout.
Yeah, it's a very good scout. If you're K1, you're not sad about your scout. It's still going.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of time left on the layer, so, if he wants to go Spire, he might not confirm it because he's taking damage from these lings.
Yeah, it might be nice to get back in, see if a third hatch being put down. I mean, it would be a bit late at this point, I feel, but yeah, just good to confirm that nothing crazy is happening.
No, yeah, I think this is a 2-hatch build.
Yeah,
This is
for
just,
sure, for sure.
So that's less than ideal, having to put down your Spire right in your opponent's face, but it is better to get it down on time.
Two Rex, evade going down. Ling's moving across the map to keep an eye on the Terran. And then you just make drones for a while. Circling, checking to make sure that there's no Marine.
Yeah, I like
At
that
the other
preemptive check
main-
with the 1 ling.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I mean, it's such a simple little tactic, but it's surprisingly efficient. He's actually hiding the link so that in case a Marine comes, he can pick that off.
And this is funny. K1's actually just SCV scouting.
Yeah,
He got another
he is,
SCV
yeah.
out. He's going to find this without even needing a scan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful. You save a scan. And looks like he wants to do a little bit of a push out here. Maybe clear the links in front of the base. Oh, he's actually going to try to deny the third.
Well, we'll see, because there should be mutas hatching very soon.
Yeah, this is a 2-hatch build, so I mean he can deny the third, but he won't have enough to defend at home, I feel.
The exciting part about this particular matchup is how sharp these edges are that you play on, seconds-wise. Like, we're playing a game of seconds here. Every second matters. And we're seeing that these Mutalisks are a couple seconds behind this ramp.
Yeah.
So he gets in and he kills the third. And that's just, that's a showcasing of just how incredibly sharp this matchup is. And therefore why I think it's the best one and the most exciting one.
It's an exciting matchup, yeah. For that reason, it's very sharp. There's lots of ways to play, lots of little decisions you can make that can totally throw a game.
If those
either
mutas
direction.
had been at that ramp by the time the Marines were trying to go
Oh,
up
they fly over the Marines! But I actually pick off all the Marines because there's enough links there.
Great
that was a
catch
nice
here,
move,
too.
yeah. For a moment, I thought that was a mistake, but no, that was actually him just moving in on the fireball.
Yeah, no, he's got 8 mutas here, so this is
Oh
good
my
effect.
God, there's so many.
Grass force.
So many turrets.
Freelings try to poke in. They see the bunker. Okay, peace out. The 2 mutas in this ball are really, really beat up.
Yeah, and this is a good turret spread from Kimura.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. K1 doing a really good job. This defensive posture is like impregnable.
And Queen's Nest is coming down right away. Hydroden coming up as well. There's no Evo chamber yet that I can see.
It depends.
Oh,
if
there's
he
a
wants to
SCV
go.
is actually stuck there. Yeah, I think one issue potentially with this missile turret is you can pick this one up so easily. Like they can't see over the cliff, and you can't get an SCV there to repair. So I'm not sure about that missile turret placement right there. But
Yeah, it might have been done in a pinch, but
it
I'm
doesn't
not really sure.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because there's actually not that many mutas here right now. He's got a big bio ball. And look at that repair over here. This missile turret actually did a lot of damage. And yeah, he's perfectly fine is what I'm trying to say. It's you know, it doesn't really make a difference. There's been virtually no harass from the mutas. They did not. I don't think the mutas really paid off in this game for launch.
I think if you're K1 in this situation, you're probably feeling pretty comfortable having picked off the third. And,
yeah.
I mean, true, you did lose a bit of bio on the map that got eaten up, but like there's really nothing Zerg can do right now. So you can just power up. Like he's on 4 racks, 2 ports.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's ready to move out. He knows he can take these mutas.
Yeah, especially since he's got +1 and he's on upgrade lead against the Zerg. So I don't know what the Zerg is actually planning to do. Oh my god. We are going into Great Aspire. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, and there's Hydra's hatching. I don't know if he's gonna make... Okay, he's making the lurkers, it seems. For a second I thought we might be seeing the Guardian Hydra rush.
Yeah, right.
Which would be wild to see in a CPL game because it's so hot and new, and it feels like it's pretty difficult to pull off, and it's pretty it's pretty situational as well. But I don't really know exactly what his plan is with the Great Aspire. I mean, I guess he's not using it to defend. These might be hold position lurks, by the way. Looks like they are. Oh my god. Is he gonna hold position lurk in this army?
Well,
he's waiting for more Marines to come. And there they go. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
All right.
He scans, but it's too late. Most of the bio is already gone. Oh my god. This was a super efficient move. Wow.
Superb display of hold position lurkers right there.
We don't see that a lot. I mean, I know it's always a danger for Terran. And in this case, Kimura he assumed that the lurkers would be here, the natural. Which is a reasonable assumption. We don't see it a lot. It's not a move that you see all that much, but yeah, he pulled it off to great effect, and now he's going to be morphing these Guardians here. And this is going to be tough to deal with. I don't know what you're supposed to do as a Terran here. Maybe you can
do exactly what K1's doing right here. He's already scanned the Greater Spire.
Yeah, so he knows this is coming. Yeah. I actually think that might have been why he tried to move into the natural. Kind of force the Guardians to be morphed defensively. I'm not sure.
It really doesn't matter where he morphs them because he's already got 6 wraiths made. And that's like the best way to deal with Guardians. If you have a high vessel count, you could also irradiate them. That's good. If they're not over like a cliff terrain, you can just run up and pop them.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he made even a single power to go with this.
See, this is the strength of the Guardian. It's when they're over terrain like this, like the cliffy kind of terrain. But if your opponent knows about them,
oh my god,
and prepares accordingly, as such,
oh my god, what a slaughter!
Then your huge gas investment kind of just
delivering additional Zerglings now.
Waste.
That was brutal. I mean, we had the whole position lurkers. That was brutal, and now this great slaughter of the Guardians. That was just amazing. What a game! By the way, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. The lampshade.
And I mean, K1 pulled the SCVs back.
Yeah, it was. He handled this perfectly. It was a perfect hold.
He knew it was coming.
Yeah, it was a perfect hold. He knew what to do. Oh no. Oh, Forte! Not again, Forte! Come on, Forte.
He's still putting these wraiths to work.
Forte, are you here? Forte, how many fingers am I
Whoopsies.
holding up? How many fingers? You were out there for a second. You hit your head on the ground.
Yeah.
I was worried about you.
I seize up occasionally.
Does your
Online.
internet seize up along with you? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Oh.
So it's really cool that he's still getting tons of value out of these raids.
Yeah, just as you say that.
Two.
Oh my
right
god,
there,
no,
yeah.
don't lose all the rays.
It was cool to see. Kind of lost half the fleet,
Yeah.
but
And these medics, they don't have guns to take down this hatchery, unfortunately.
well, that's funny. I hadn't even noticed.
They're standing around there like, okay, I've observed that this hatch exists.
It's the nurses' union.
Yeah, they're here to write a paper about the hatchery.
All right, so yeah, K1 is going to push out and take his mineral-only third. Quite a lot of Zerglings there.
By the way, I think
basically for free.
this may come into play later because the Zerg is again pretty behind on upgrades. Already 2-1 for the Terran. 0 upgrades for the Zerg so far.
Yeah, nothing for Zerg. Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of bio here. You can't really do anything without. I mean, there's a quite sizable Zerg army out on the map, but you really have to aim precisely and attack in a very, you know, cohesive fashion in order to do anything against this much bio, especially when it's got such a big upgrade lead.
Yeah.
There's already vessels out, so.
These Hydras don't have speed.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have anything. Actually, they do have range, but yeah, no speed. Yeah, that just gets slaughtered. Upgrades are necessary to be able to fight with any composition.
Yeah.
Okay, the Hydra speed is finished now. Very nice engage here from Kimura. I feel like he's just gonna vault ahead in this game, and I don't think he's gonna give up on the lead that he has right now.
Yeah, I
He's
certainly
just-
hope not.
Yeah, he's scouting
got-
this 9 o'clock base now.
Yeah, he's got considerable control of the map.
I think if he does like a double dropship here, he could take out this base maybe. Maybe triple dropship, I don't know. Well, there's some links being hatched here now, so I guess he probably can't, but...
I'm just going to try to push this back.
Yeah, I guess he's just gonna have to let that base be. There's nothing he can really do at this point. If there's, you know, cracklings defending, you pretty much safe against drops. For a moment there, it was just 2 sunks and I think 1 lurker.
They really like that lurker. That's an anti-drop lurker.
Yeah.
So, okay, now K1's going to take the 4th at the 6th. And the posture he's in right now is he's just holding. He's just kind of holding this position here.
Yeah.
Outside the main alley to Zerg's natural.
I think that's fair. Wow, look at this. 3 siege tanks coming up. I guess he's gonna try to shell this base from the low ground.
Oh, see, that's neat. I completely missed that he made 2 factories with shops.
Yeah, I think all the Terran players watching this cast are probably like cursing at me for never checking the Terran base. Okay, so these siege tanks are gonna be moving up. And let's see that siege tank range. I guess he's probably gonna move Vessel over here as well, just a spot.
Yeah, that would be ideal, so we don't have to continue scanning over and over. Oh, gotta watch that vessel. Okay.
Ooh, yeah. Meanwhile, big Zerg army is moving out onto the map. This little diversion is giving an opportunity for Zerg to kind of do some damage here and get some map control back. And the plagues are out right now, but wow, he's actually kind of like just picking off this Zerg army. It's kind of move commanding through the map. I guess he's gonna try to go for this expansion here.
Upgrades, man.
Yeah, we need upgrades. We're still at 0-0. I guess when you have lurkers, you don't need anything. Actually, it's a lurker there. And there is one lurker. One lurker on the Dark Swarm. That's all you need. Yeah, I don't even see an Evo chamber anywhere. Oh wait, there's one. Okay, he's getting his carapace upgrade. That's a start.
It's a start, but
It's
I
a
mean,
start.
we're already close to the finish.
Yeah. Yeah, the Terran's upgrades are absolutely brutal right now.
+3 Marines with 0 Carapace Zerg. Okay, they have 1 Carapace now. It just kicked in.
Yeah, these Zerglings are gonna do absolutely nothing unless they're on the Dark Swarm. Terran moving in now to this 9 o'clock base. Oh, the siege tanks actually trigger some Zerglings to come in, but looks like they just barely survived that. These Lings do no damage to the siege tanks.
Yeah, man, they have 0 melee. 0. They're attacking with feather dusters.
Oh, the siege tank actually gets picked off by the splash damage from the other siege tank. Oh, that's just the Terran life, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Alright, launch cleaning that up very nicely. A little bit sloppy to be losing such a valuable little force. Could continue skirmishing with it, but also cleaning up these lurkers in the center of the map. Very nicely done.
Yeah, still I feel like this is also just kind of testament to how good Launch is picking fights. He's really dividing Kimura's attention, you know, attacking in lots of different spots, keeping him occupied. And I think that's what allowed him to break this push up to his 9 o'clock base.
I feel like Launch is such an unorthodox Zerg player, but he's such a brawler.
Yeah.
He just loves to fight.
Yeah.
And he goes in and he just knows, when you're gonna bob and when you're gonna leave, and he just... Wham.
Oh my god, this plague.
See, like, he's just so good at getting in and maneuvering. But at the end of the day, like,
yeah. Wow.
his style ends up kind of auto-cannibalizing, like he bleeds himself dry. Still a great game nonetheless.
Yeah, really well played by both players. This one was very, very closely contested. I feel like in game 1, the only game that Launch won, it was, you know, you could really see his style working very well. And then in the other games, he kind of, I don't know, he started out strong, but then he kind of petered out a little bit. Like his macro wasn't quite there to be able to finish the job.
Yeah, I like I said before, I think that's just kind of a stylistic thing to the player. And we see how that style plays out.
So we've got 2 more matches. Manadog versus RuhZo. Sirref versus Zen. Should we take a quick break before we get into those and finish out the cast? Maybe like just 3 minutes, just enough to stretch and get something to drink.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll play the last 2 CVTs of the night and see which team takes home the tier 1. Alright guys, we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, let's get back into it. I don't know if you're back yet, Forte.
I'm here.
Alright, awesome. Okay, so let's get into our last 2 matches. Our first one's going to be Manadog versus RuhZo. And yeah, Manadog is, of course, he's one of those players who's like, he's always around, he's always playing, he's always practicing. RuhZo, I don't know that much about. Maybe you know him a little bit?
I have no idea
Oh, okay.
who RuhZo is, actually.
I mean, I've seen his name a lot, but I've never spoken to him, so I don't know too much about him. Manadog saying, "You'd think I'd play better." Oh, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but let's see. Let's get into it. Game 1 on Neo Sylphid. Alright, so in the top spawn, it's Manadog, Terran. In the bottom left corner, It's RuhZo in the purple. Which I think is a good color for Zerg, because the Carbot Zerglings are in purple. Same for my my channel, my emotes in my channel. There's these
If
purple
you say so.
Zerglings.
I know there's a couple purple faithfuls out there.
Hmm.
It's a good color for sure.
It's a good color. It's a very, I mean, it's a royal purple, right? It's the royal color.
Yeah.
It's also the color of poison, though.
You could also argue green could be poison.
Yeah. Manadog saying, "Don't let Forte shame you, Dada." Yeah. Can't
He's
help
just
it.
happy because I'm casting here with you instead of playing ladder games because we have a running bet right now.
I mean, there's nothing I can do to prevent Forte from shaming me. He's just gonna do whatever he wants. Don't you want to join in the cast, Manadog? Just hop into the channel. Tell us all about your game. Meanwhile, 12 hedge from the Zerg.
He's working.
He's working. Oh,
He's
you're not.
working.
You're not working. You're watching a stream. What are you talking about? Would your boss be happy to know that you're watching the stream?
All hatch, 11 pool, 10 gas.
We'll never know. That's the right response.
Max expand on 15.
Hmm. SCV just being a bit of a nuisance. And this looks to me like it's just going to be a very nice standard game.
Yeah, it's setting up to be that way.
I'm going to get a scout off. One Marine coming in, denying the scouts into the main base.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Drone's running back home. And this scouting SCV is not long for this world. A nice round on the scouting SCV, actually.
Yeah, that was very nice. Second racks, gas, bunker. Alright. So a nod to your opponent. That's very respectable. We do have 6 slings on the way.
Hmm.
And now 3 Marines in this bunker. That's going to be enough to
Yeah, you can
push away the
never.
wings.
Yeah, you can never do anything here. You can't even pick off a single SCV. You can't run by. So just gonna keep an eye on the Terran here, and a Hydra then going down. So we're gonna see Hydra tech. I guess we have another Zerg who's more of a Hydra guy, or a Lurker guy, I should say, than a Muta guy.
Yeah, he's going to go right into Lurker. And take his natural gas. Yep. I like this from Manadog. This SCV that's out.
Yeah.
Coming in for another scout. This is going to be big.
Ooh.
Hello. What you got there?
And all the Lings are coming back. Oh, the SCV, it's in the base! Let's kill it! Even sees a Hydra hatching. Comm set going down. Should actually make a second comm set as well, I feel. Yeah, and here you just make bunkers. Bunkers, bunkers, bunkers. And I believe the correct way is also to kind of get your Marines in front for a little bit. eBay going down, so he's gonna put down a missile turret. And I don't feel that there's anything you can do here. I mean, the lurkers haven't even started morphing yet. They just started. He's gonna be completely ready well before these lurkers arrive. This turret being made now. I guess there's still a possibility if there's like one missile turret and you pick it off. But I don't think Manadog's gonna let that happen.
No, he's building the second one there. It's good.
Good. Second comset station also coming up. Very diligent. Rax pumping out marines. Here come the lurkers. So he's gonna have contain up, but he's not really gonna get any damage done, I feel. Unless you have like a control group of lurkers or something, then maybe you can punch through here, but...
Correct. And this is really not ideal for RuhZo, actually. Manadog got the perfect scan off, saw the Queen's Nest, and saw exactly when the hive started.
Yeah.
And knows that he's on, 2-hatch, because he got the second scout off. He's on 2-hatch Lurker.
Yeah.
2-hatch Lurker kind of has to get something done. It's very all-in-ish. Some people will say that it's all-in-ish. I mean, if you look at the number of drones, like, look at the natural. It's barren.
There's almost nothing here. There's not even 3 drones on gas here. Just 2.
So, I'm really curious to see where this hive goes and what he plans on doing with it.
I guess he's just gonna get a defiler over here as soon as possible. This reminds me a lot of... I'm trying to remember what game it was. I think it was a game by Efforts, in which I think he went 2-hatch Lurker and then just rushed to the defiler as quickly as possible, and he was actually able to keep the contain up while getting a defiler over there just in time to be able to bust the natural. I forgot against who he was playing. I think it was an ASL match. And that might be, yeah, there's the defiler mount. That might be what he's trying to go for.
Yeah, so this is all or nothing. Like, this is 100% all eggs in one basket.
Extremely all in.
Yeah.
Siege tanks are here and the siege mode is already done, so he's gonna have to back off. Those lurkers are definitely within range. Oh, they're actually stacked. Yeah, you don't want stacked lurkers when there's siege tanks. Ooh. But let's see if this tech is gonna be out soon. Okay, so Consume is researching now. He scans the forest outside of his natural, sees the lurkers there.
Yeah, he needs to get a vessel out here. Ooh, it's got one on the way.
Oh, he is pushing this back very well.
That's a free lurker.
Yeah, just... Oh my god. He has to be careful not to overextend with his Bioforce, though. But very nice...
No, he's doing a great job.
Yeah, very nice attack and pull back at exactly the right time. 2 defilers are out. Consume is not done yet, but it will be by the time it reaches the natural. So you can see that if Manadog had been any slower in pushing this away, he would have been in very serious trouble. Even now, he might still fall to the attack, because this is coming now, and I don't think he really sees this attack coming. He has to consume some links, though. There is a vessel there. But he doesn't know that this attack is coming. If he moves out, it could even hit the natural. There's the first Dark Swarm.
Well, he does not have energy for another one. He's got to consume.
Yeah, he has to consume. And he has to do this as quickly as possible. I don't think there's another... Yeah, there's no other Irradiate right now. So he can actually just move up with the other Defiler.
Ooh, this catch down here. You seeing this on these lurkers?
Oh my god.
Bam.
Oh my god. 4 lurkers. Oh, that's it. GG.
Popped.
Wow.
Popped them unburrowed, and that causes the GG.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry I missed that. Yeah, that was amazing. Well played by Manadog. Well played. And I kind of want to ask RuhZo if that was his idea in this game to kind of do that same build that Effort did in that. I think it was Effort in that game. I'm gonna have to look up which one that was. I know I'm talking about it kind of vaguely, but I recall seeing this exact same thing before. And in the case with Effort, he actually managed to break the Terran. It was actually a very spectacular game. But even for him, it was like extremely, extremely tight. He just barely managed to do it in time. Oh, Manadog saying he apparently did it to Nightcat in a previous series. So Nightcat was a sacrifice for Manadog to be able to live.
Doing your homework. Very good.
Yeah. That's why we have the replay function now on the web app. Okay, let's get into game 2. This is going to be on Vermeer. Okay, we've got that awesome Terran music going. Is Manadog in the top right. And in the bottom right. Again with the purple. It's RuhZo. So I guess these two are color pickers as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
With the black color for Manadog. I like the black. I mean, we were talking about this before, but anything looks good on Terran.
Yeah, basically all the colors, really. Personally, I think white is just... oh, it's so good.
It's funny, like we were talking before about the barracks, about the center lights on the barracks. You'll notice in a second, like when he makes the barracks and he starts making units out of it, it's gonna have like a black light in the middle.
How does a black light blink?
Yeah, it's exactly. Manadog saying white looks great, but it shows up on the minimap more. I mean, is there anyone who doesn't shift tab? I guess there are a few people who don't shift tab, but
It's up on the minimap more.
yeah.
Dude, I pick red when I play Zerg.
This is like a kind of, this is like something Artosis would say. He's like, well, if I pick this color, it's gonna be like 0.01% more chance to win. Because when you pick red, it makes you slightly more aggressive, and it causes you to make slightly worse decisions.
I feel attacked.
Well, I said it's something Artosis would say. I didn't say it's something you would say.
I feel attacked by Artosis saying what you said.
Oh. It was just a hypothetical.
Okay, alright. Saying, I color pick red.
You color pick red. But
On
why
Zerg,
do you
yeah.
color pick red? Do you color pick red because it makes your opponent slightly more aggressive?
No, it's the red light. It's the red light district.
Oh.
I'm basically saying, come to my base, we'll have a good time.
Heck, there it is. Like a black light. It looks so weird.
It's, yeah, like, huh. Save your drone.
It looked for a second like it was gonna make something. We've got a third hatch in the base. Yeah, and it's really, really tucked away there. Actually, I don't know if the SCV saw... Oh, well, okay.
Wah.
It does. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Yeah, now this just sucks as a hatchery location, you know. It makes your rallies take longer for no reason. Is gonna take out the SCV.
A classic 3-hatcher. Alright. This I'm curious to see.
Some links going across the map now. Just to keep an eye on the turn. Actually has a pretty good drone count right now. Compared to the SCV count.
Yeah.
No link speed just yet. These two wrecks just pumping out Marines. And this SCV is just gonna walk in. Wow. It's gonna scout just a lair though.
Right, but now would be the ideal time to put down a Hydralisk Den if the plan was 3-hatch Lurker.
Yeah, exactly. Or to put down the tech you want to tear in the sea. And the SCP goes down, so won't be able to confirm that there is in fact a Hydro Den at the natural.
An evolution chamber. That is an early evolution chamber.
Yeah, it is. So I wonder if this is gonna be lurkers into Crazy Zerg, maybe?
That's what I'm thinking.
Purpose upgrade going. I actually don't play Crazy Zerg myself, so I don't know if you want to get the second Evo relatively soon. It feels to me like you should, right? Or do you just want to get carapace upgrades?
You want the carapace upgrades. That's the key feature.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually you're gonna get that second Evo chamber, but you don't have to get it anywhere near the time you get the first one.
Okay, alright.
This first one is really to just try to get a huge leap over Terrans. The corresponding upgrade, the attack, which, as we could see on the upgrade cards up top, it's just now started. You see the carapace is ahead of it.
Yeah, it looks like we are gonna stim across the map. Actually, no, he's gonna go after these links first. I feel like if you're gonna do this push, you probably should go right away and as soon as possible, because he's actually just barely not gonna get here before the first sunk finishes. But he is gonna be here before the lurkers finish. I feel like you should probably...
Right.
Oh, he's actually gonna go back. I actually think he could have done serious damage here if he'd just gone straight for the natural without stopping.
Well, he played it pretty safe too at the same time. Like, he extracted whatever value he could. Like, ran up, killed the Overlord. That's good. Got out.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not going straight for it, maybe the idea behind that was to just put on pressure. Feign that pressure.
I feel like he could have actually just won the game there. Because the lurkers weren't ready.
2020.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's easy to say, of course. Yeah. Getting an add-on now. The factory and the starport. And we'll see. I'd like to see how the Zerg wants to proceed from here. Like, how exactly are we gonna finalize this tech tree? I don't see a Queen's Nest just yet. Oh, we have Overlord Speed.
Yeah, we do.
I don't see Drop being researched. Did he already research Drop?
I don't think so.
No. It's interesting to see Overlord Speed at this time. Or, well, to see it at all.
I mean, it's not a bad upgrade.
No, but what is he planning to do with it, I wonder? There's a lot of lurkers coming. I mean, if you had the drop upgrade, that would actually be extremely strong right now. I feel, with this many lurkers out.
I'd say he might be planning it, but he's got plenty of money to do it.
Yeah. the drop upgrade actually takes some time to finish. You do want to get that down, you know, as quickly as possible, really.
Okay, see, he's now getting a Spire and a Queen's Nest at the same time.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of seeing some of the features unfold.
In the second Evo chamber. So we've got 3 gas with all the tech coming, and Manadog is just building up his Bioforce, and he's getting siege tanks out. And just macroing. Scans there to check if there's anything on the high ground here. Looks like there's nothing there, so he's gonna go move up.
Oh, I like this. Stimming the one Marine and moving it forward.
Yeah, that's very good.
We're gonna find all these lurkers here. A little bit out of position.
Yeah, that was actually exactly the moment that RuhZo wanted to try and set up on that location, but looks like he won't be able to. By the way, this SCV scouting the third base. We may, it's kind of funny. We may actually have a similar situation as before with a contain around all the Zerg's bases because they're not in distant locations. With a Zerg looking to pick a fight in the middle of the map. Oh, you don't want to just lose all these units here though. This is actually a great angle of attack for the Terran. Looks like he may actually be getting all of these lurkers. Oh my god. A lot of bio going down though.
Not before sustaining some pretty serious damage, but he should.
Oh, and the scan runs out. He scans again. Oh, he doesn't have enough bio to finish the job. Oh.
Should.
Yeah, this siege tank is overstayed its welcome, unfortunately. It's gonna get caught.
Yeah, it's gone.
Wow. Yeah, I can't even begin to calculate if, you know, what kind of a trade that was, because that was quite a lot of lurkers and he lost pretty much all of them. But the entire Bioforce has been decimated. And now he's basically got no momentum, he's got no map presence. And RuhZo might actually be in a much better position after this with all this tech coming up. Consume is on its way. He upgrades, he's ahead. Finally, this SCV is taken out, by the way.
The longer this third goes unpunished, the better situation it becomes for Zerg. Eventually he's going to branch out and take a fourth, and I don't really see anything that is in position to deny a fourth. We're seeing macro hatches being dropped in the main, so RuhZo's getting ready to spend some serious cash. And we can hear the scans going off, and Manadog's looking.
Yeah. His +1 armor just finished.
Okay, that's
+2
great.
attack is on its way.
With +1 armor, the lurkers will take 3 hits to kill instead of 2 on Marines.
Yeah, so now Zerg's getting really, really serious. Just dropping the macro hatcheries. All the tech is up. You know, the one thing we haven't seen yet in this evening of casting is we haven't seen an Ultra Den yet. Or, sorry, Ultra Cavern.
That's true.
Which is kind of amazing when you think about it because of how strong the Ultras are. The fact that there's something apparently more more desirable to use against Terran than the Ultra.
Yeah, the real reason why the Ultralisks are so valuable is because they're easy to use.
Oh, yes.
They're effective without you really needing to do much with them.
Yeah, and then you can just send out attacks all over the map, and the Terran just can't keep up with that. And once you've got fully upgraded Ultras, at least fully upgraded in terms of carapace, and you're on upgraded advantage against the Terran, you just can't kill them. They soak up so much damage, and then meanwhile the Cracklings just kill everything. It's really difficult to deal with. I'm a little bit surprised that RuhZo decided not to go with the Ultra Cavern, considering he has an upgrade advantage.
Yeah, it kind of surprises me as well.
I was expecting him to go into that.
You can make it work on 3 gases. Ideally, you want 4 if you want ultraless production with Defiler.
Yeah, he did. Since he went into Defiler, you can't really do everything off of just 3 gas.
Right.
You're not going to have critical mass if you try to do that. By the way, this was a very nice move from Manadog. Just stimming forward, picking up a couple of units. At the same time, unfortunately losing a vessel there. He's going to have to pull that one back. But he does have his 3rd base up now, and he's just pumping out Marines. His supply is just getting higher and higher. Now these siege tanks are joining up here. And he has to be careful not to be too forward with these tanks, though. Has to pull back to the Marines. Actually, he's just baiting these Lings into the Marines. It's a very nice move. So I think he should just back up a little bit. Make sure there's a little bit of space to have a nice arc, and then just siege these tanks up. And just set up this contain here. Very nice play going down.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to depend on siege tanks to make things happen when there's Dark Swarm on the field.
The upgrades are insane from Zerg this game.
Yeah, 1, 2.
Yeah, more about to
Lings.
finish up in a moment.
1, 2 on the Hydras as well. Yep.
Triple Evo, just pumping out those upgrades.
Crackling Dark Swarm here, nice.
Yeah, that was a very nice Dark Swarm. But
Made
it's
for a
only...
nice number of Marines.
Yeah, this is... I like Manadog's positioning here. It's not the type of position you can easily attack with Dark Swarm because of the area that the Marines are taking up. I think he should be able to... Ooh, yeah, he's just barely going to be able to defend this. It's just a slightly too small group of Marines.
Oh, the Carapace upgrades are so fantastic.
Yeah. This is really making such a big difference.
You really can see them in action.
I mean, it's like when you compare it to the last game we just watched, where the Zerg didn't get upgrades. It's such a difference.
Yeah.
War consumes going down, and Manadog is like a boa constrictor, just getting closer and tightening the noose little by little. He does have to constantly back off whenever a Dark Storm goes down, but his position just keeps getting nicer, I think.
Yeah, he's got to be a little bit careful about his frontline position here.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job right now, but he's got to remain like constantly vigilant because one Dark Swarm going down could spell disaster. But he's, not only holding the line here really well, but he's also sniffing out all the other bases on the map. He's about to take out bot left for free, and that's going to put him in a fantastic position.
Yeah, this siege is it's getting it's constantly getting a new influx of Marines and medics. He's reinforcing it very well. And the Zerg just doesn't really have the muscle to break out at the moment. I mean, he's trying, he's poking in, he's putting down the Dark Swarms, but it's very hard to kick a Terran from your front door when he's so entrenched as Manadog is now.
Yeah. He really needs access to more larvae.
Yeah, he should just put down a couple more macro hatches. He's got the money for it. In fact, at this point, even though it wasn't really the game plan, I think maybe you should consider going into Ultra.
Since we're on +3 Carapace right now, yeah, I'd have to agree. If we had gone into Ultras, Things
Yeah.
may have been a little different.
Well, the Terran is already a +3 at this point, so the Ultras
Yeah.
no longer have the upgraded advantage that they would have had a little while ago.
But at the same time, we'd be able to get in and start bullying.
Yes, that's true. You might actually kick the Terran from your doorstep, and then maybe you have the opportunity to take a fourth.
Yeah, like it's really hard to try and bully Terran with Ling Lurker composition, and then try to micro a Defiler behind it.
I think Manadog needs to reroute some of his rally points. Actually, there's a lot of... he's moving a lot of his units now. Okay, another good burrow, but the Terran just repositions.
Ooh, look at this, him sweeping in,
Yeah,
going into the natural.
I don't like that move. You don't really have enough Marines here at this moment. You need to wait for these reinforcements. And just so many irradiates going down.
He's holed up in a good spot. Yeah, Irradiate's going down.
Oh, don't attack
Does
into the
not
Dark Storm.
need to
Oh,
engage into
no,
this.
no, he's not watching his units here. Oh my god, he's losing so many. He lost an entire army there.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's painful. That's painful. Get the Dark Storm off? No, just barely doesn't. Playing on all the vessels as well. You know, Zerg might actually just break out at this moment.
This is turned around entirely.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's got the third though.
Oh,
yeah, he's got the third.
GG's. Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
He strangled him enough. Yeah, and with the third gone, that's definitely a killing blow, I think.
Yeah, I feel like maybe RuhZo could have tried to play it out a little bit longer, but I kind of understand it from his perspective.
Yeah, the possibility was there. I saw it too, but it's pretty slim.
Yeah, especially since he had 4K in the bank, and how much gas did he have? He had like, I think 900 gas or something. I mean, it's not much if you don't have a fourth base, but yeah, I don't know. I understand his position. It wasn't a bad GG timing, I guess. But it's kind of funny because it happened right after he actually took like a really good fight on the map and thinned out the Marines quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, well played by Manadog, taking that 2-0. Wonder if he's still here in the chat. Manadog was here before, but he's gone now. Maybe he doesn't want to hear the criticism of his play. He doesn't want Dada to criticize his play. Like, who are you, Dada?
Who are you?
Who am I?
You have an opinion.
yeah. How dare I? Well, he's right though. What do I don't know anything about this game. Which is why I have Forte here to sit here in the casting booth with me.
I know some things.
He knows some things. No. Okay, so we're gonna go into the last match of the night. This is gonna be another CVT. And it's gonna be Sirref versus Zen.
Oh, this should be fun.
Yeah, I'm favoring Zen here. But I actually thought Zen was I thought he was playing Protoss this season.
No, he's playing Terran this season, right?
Oh, okay. I thought he started out as a Protoss, but I guess not. I don't know. The web app doesn't have historic race information for players, so we can go back and check.
He's Protoss, I think. But
Okay.
like he's playing Terran this season.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Well, let's get into it and let's see how Terran Zen does.
If my understanding is correct. Anyway.
Yeah, you're probably right. Okay. On the left side of Sylphid, it's Meditations, aka Zen. And on the right side, it's Sirref, aka Sirref. I guess the Z is kind of nice in the name if you're a Zerg player.
Yeah. This should be interesting. I've never seen Zen play Aaron, but I know Sirref's a pretty seasoned player. He's a veteran of CPL. He's been around for a while. He's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. I actually think he played a lot of games this season as well. Representing his team quite a few times. Overlord's gonna be getting a first scout. Look at the APM on these guys. Almost 500 APM for Sirref.
Zen's like sports car. Sirref's like, no, rocket ship.
Rocket ship? I should include this in the end of season stats. The highest APM player per tier. Might be interesting.
Yeah, that might be interesting.
Gonna be trying to get those out maybe next week or something.
Yeah, I always find the stats interesting to look at at the end of each season.
Yeah, especially the map balance stats. I think those are interesting. Especially since last season, it all kind of evened out very well, even though, you know, every map sort of had like a little bit of a bias. All the biases kind of worked out to exactly more or less 50% win chance for every matchup. Which is fascinating.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
We really got that close, like the 50%. That's ideal.
And do you remember what our most balanced map was from last season's stats?
No, which
it
one?
It was actually Butter.
Oh.
Butter was the most balanced map. It's not the one I would have guessed, but it was. It was like, I think it was like exactly 51, 52% for all the matchups. Rainer11111 asking, when will the new CPL season start? We don't know yet. It depends sort of on when everyone has time. There's no set schedule for it, although we kind of want to, you know, we want to give a couple of months, you know, from the last season at the very least. We can't have a CPL going on literally all the time. Return would die if we did that. He's already like barely, like he's on life support right now, just from one regular CPL season.
Returns on life support from getting 3 hours of sleep every night for the last few months.
Yes, exactly. I don't think Sirref saw this vulture coming. Oh my god, this might be a very short game.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't really expect it to come out, this vulture.
Okay, so he's gonna get a couple kills with it. He's got a micro.
Oh my god, it's the whole thing glitched out there for a moment. Oh my god, how many kills is he gonna get? Well, these are speedlings, so it is gonna get caught. But wow, this was a beautiful, beautiful attack from this one vulture. It did way more than it should have.
Yeah, it's worth its weight in gold for sure.
Shimmer, you want to hop into the casting channel? Cast the last game of the evening? Yeah, this was a great attack by Zen.
Fire pops. But
Fire
we
pops. You got
Have, we have
sunks.
lings.
We actually
We have
don't.
lings.
Ooh, yeah, that's right. Well, we have a vulture. Yeah, there's just links being made.
So it's a Spire fake out speedling all in.
This is kind of fascinating because
More Zerglings.
thanks for the follow, Yaneka. Appreciate it. Yeah, we've got more factories coming down. There's no missile turrets, no nothing. There's an armory, so we're gonna get Goliaths. I mean, I assume he's making Goliaths.
Imagine this vulture. Like, oh my,
Incorporating
this vulture's gonna scout the
into
lings.
swarm.
Oh, yes.
Raina11111 cheered. Times 100. BW
Oh, this
forever.
is such an unfortunate time to be mech switching.
Rainer, thanks for the cheer, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. BW forever. Yeah, I'm like, this is like kind of fascinating. Yeah, he did scout the links, and oh my god, look at this. This is doing absolutely nothing. The Zergs are just glitching out, and oh my god, they do get in, but this is not quite enough. It's not quite critical mass. Is he gonna pick off all the Marines though? He does pick off all the Marines, but there's not enough left to finish, to clear up these SCVs and to actually do damage. Then again, more links are coming up. I actually think he may have done it. It didn't look very good to me, but no bunker repair. And now there's no mass, no critical mass to stop this. I think he can just continue to flood links. He's gonna have to pull back into his main base, pull all the SCVs. But meanwhile, his NAT is falling, and it looks like this may be a successful speedling all in. Wow. Oh my god.
But wait, it's not actually over yet.
No, you're right, it's not over. We now have like...
3 Goliaths.
We have a handful of Goliaths, and Lings are not actually very good against Goliaths. Goliaths have a base armor, Lings do no damage to them.
And he's doing
like
such a good job with the
God,
SCVs blocking.
Yeah. Yeah, and now there's just more Lings. I mean, can he still punch through here? I don't know if he can. He is sending his SCVs back to mine, though. He's making a new bunker, but I think the Lings are gonna hit before that's done. Bunkers make pretty fast, though. If he's gonna go, he should go now. Lights are already in position, and I think he can drill the SCVs back if they do come. He's just a little bit too slow. This bunker is gonna finish. Actually, yeah, the supply depot just burned down. There's nothing in the bunker just yet, though. And he's gonna pick up the only Marine here, but still the SCV block may just be enough. Oh my god, all the Zerglings are falling. Yeah, it's just barely not enough, unfortunately. He's making more hatches behind this, and yeah.
I gotta tell you, these SCV polls have all been A+.
Yeah, and he didn't lose that many SCVs even, because the Lings were trying to attack the Goliaths and the Marine that were in the middle of the SCV clump. So he's just... The fact that he held this, he's so far ahead now. He's light years ahead. But at the same time, he's got 4 factories and he's got almost no units. And when you're going mech, you need to have units. I can't believe this Ling is still here, by the way.
Well, that's funny. Scourge getting for a scout. Loses all but 1.
It's just Lings, Lings, Lings.
Yeah, he has no other... There's no recourse here.
I think at this point you can't really break through anymore. No matter how many links you have. Perrin is gonna set this up so well. Well, here we go. We're gonna test that theory. But the links are just getting in though, and there's no SCV pull this time. Still, there's just not enough Zerglings here. Well, they're gonna run through into the main. That's good. There's missile turrets here. I guess Zen decided that the only way he could lose this game is if a bunch of mutas just flew into his base and he doesn't have any missile turrets. But he does have Goliath, so I feel like maybe this wasn't the right call.
I don't know.
There's
It's
still more links
it's
coming.
safe and smart.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
there has to be. It's all lings from here. Like if he tries to drone up,
there's nothing else you can do. But there may actually just barely be enough links here now. I mean, this has been a back and forth for like again and again and again. But there was no SCV pull this time. There are quite a few Goliaths here though.
I don't know, man. I think Terran's got this.
Yeah, I think so as well. Look at this. This last Goliath doesn't even go down. You can keep making links all you want, but from this point on, it's just not really gonna get busted anymore, I feel.
Sirref is banked on the fact that he's got 2 extra hatches worth of larva that he can now double the all-in amount of lings that he's throwing at his opponent, but
Yeah, okay. There's
unfortunately,
so many links coming out.
the blocks are good, the SCV pulls are good, the Goliaths have upgrades now. I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's a Hydrodon being made, so I guess there is going to be some sort of transition. Lurkers, oh, sorry, Vultures scouting around, confirming that there's no other base. Zerg has only 12 drones.
Ooh, he just popped a bunch.
Oh, never mind. That's a lot of drones.
Okay, now see, this is what I was talking about. As soon as he pumps the brakes and decides to drone, Terran just has the space to breathe, consolidate, move out, seize control.
The Zerg did see that move out due to the Overlord, and what are these Zerglings going to do? What's
he going to do?
These Zerglings are going to move in on this force. I
What's
don't
he
think
gonna
that's
do?
going to work. I mean, I was going to imagine maybe he could do a counterattack, but even a counterattack probably isn't going to work at this point. There's still quite a lot left in the base.
No way. Zen's rolling in 5 fact right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just gonna bust these Sunkens and that's gonna be it.
And here come the Lings, but I don't think they're going to get anything done. Actually, they're glitching out. Yeah, and this is... oh my god, there's actually quite a lot of Hydras here. He might just barely be able to withstand this attack for now. A lot of drones going down, though. He's back down to 15 drones, so lost quite a few there.
Yeah, and this wave of reinforcements coming in.
Yeah,
behind
this is going to seal the deal definitively.
Most assured. Yeah, I mean, this is a 1-1 mech army.
Yeah. This is
0-0 Hydras.
I mean, it's actually very impressive that Sirref managed to hold on for so long. After completely filled all in.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah, these Vultures are actually kind of like... These Vultures are not very good for his Hydras.
They're basically buffering the shots so that the Goliaths and the tank don't have to take it all.
You know what? Zerg might just barely be able to push this back with the reinforcements. Actually, no, just barely doesn't do it.
Yeah, Sirref calls it.
Yeah. GG.
GG.
Well played by Zen. Especially, I think, that early defense with the SCV pool, that was brilliant.
That was so good. He just blocked like all the lings with the SCVs, just clogged up all of the pathways. Can't get to the Marines. It's a shooting gallery.
Yeah, if his defense there hadn't been completely on point, I think he would have just died there.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we talk about ZVT, about being like on a razor's edge. It really is. The smallest difference, the slightest edge in engagement can make or break the entire game.
Yeah, and there were like 2 control groups with Lings there, but they weren't doing anything because the SCVs were blocking, you know, they were trying to attack move, there were no targets. Just really well done by Zen. Let's go into game 2 and see how this one plays out. Okay, in the bottom right corner, it's Sirref. XD from Meditations. And in the bottom left corner, it's Zen in the orange. I wonder what that was about, that XD that he wrote in the chat just now. Maybe a response to last game? I don't know.
Something, maybe.
There's something was going on. Maybe he messed up his split. I didn't see it though. I've really liked this map, Pand0r.
Pand0r? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this map. It's fun to play on.
Yeah, I think it's the best thing since Polypoid.
Yeah.
And Polypoid's probably the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah. I mean, people complain about Eclipse, but I like Eclipse as well.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I think it's... It's like... I don't know. It's overplayed.
It's overplayed, yeah. I don't mind it too much for Eclipse. I don't know why. I just like the map.
It's good.
It's
just
like at some point a map becomes comfortable. I guess this is a problem as well, because then you get maps like Fighting Spirits. You just stay around forever and just refuse to die. I mean, this is one thing that's, I think, the Starcraft community has done really, really well. We've kept changing the map pool. We've kept it fresh. Like, this is one problem that I have with Quake 1,
yeah.
even though I'm a huge fan of Quake 1. Quake 1's got one of the best mapping communities out there, but they're just playing on the same old maps for the past, how many years? 30 years, almost?
Oh man, making me feel old.
You know, I've had it with E1, M2. I don't want to play E1, M2. I don't want to play DM2 or DM6. It's like, I like those maps, but we've got so many great mappers. Let's get some new maps in, you know? But Brood War is not like that. In Brood War, we actually keep the map pool fresh, which is great. Gives a lot of variety, keeps the game fresh, keeps the tactics fresh.
Keeps the game balanced.
Yeah,
if you
that
think
too.
about it.
Yeah, and it also just forces us to rethink the game constantly. The map makers are really the, you know, without the map makers, can you imagine what kind of a game this would be if we just had the same maps forever?
Yeah.
It would be garbage, you know. No one would play this game.
Hot garbage.
Yeah. So thank a map maker today. Give a map maker a hug.
Who's your favorite map maker?
That's hard to say. I mean, there's like a couple of map makers that make all the good maps. There's like a small handful of them. You know, people like Freakling, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who my favorite mapper is, to be honest.
Like the dude that made Eclipse. He made a whole bunch of other maps too.
Yeah.
Latius, I think.
Delivering additional Zerglings now.
I can get fact checked on that.
DS Harp3, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Looks like we got a small move out here. There's not enough links, I think, to fight this, considering it's kind of fragmented, but there is a sunk here now, so nothing you can do here.
Yeah, I can't engage on just one sunk with that few Marines.
Yeah. No, if there had been just 3 links there, then the Marines can actually take that, but not going to be able to do so just now. And there's link speed, there's no lair. Oh wait, the lair is... Sorry about that. I just looked at the main, didn't see a lair there. For a second I thought, oh, there's no lair, it's going to be a ling all in again. But no, it's not going to be like that this time. The lair is actually natural. We do have link speed on the way. 3 hatch. Second extractor coming up. And the Spire's just starting. Two Rex just coming in. It's the Rex spinning with an orange light in the center.
Oh, that's so cool. Because we're in the replay function, I can zoom right in on it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really cool looking.
Oh my god, this Zerg just can't stop attacking with Lings. Oh. I almost feel like this is like a PSA. This is a PSA for Zerg players. Don't throw your Lings into a bunker.
Yeah, in this matchup, I think Lings are good early and late, but not in the middle.
I mean, I can kind of see the appeal because when you're just about to hatch Mutas, if you can shave off some Marines, it can be extremely strong. You can actually just snowball the game from there.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a good number of them and have them supported with something, like a Muta or a lurker push.
Well, even just before the Mutas hatch, if you get in and you like thin out the Marines, if you come in with more Lings than they expect and they're not really ready for it, then it can be a very strong move. But I think as soon as you see this kind of setup with a bunker and units outside the bunker blocking your entrance, I think you have to just pull back. It make quite a lot of Mutas right off the bat, though. This is a pretty sizable Muta force. More Mutas being pumped out. And this is not a very big Terran army. In fact, if you had those Lings here, you could have already picked all of this off.
He's just hatched a bunch more.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of Lings here. And Terran scans there, sees that there's nothing you can do. In fact, you should just try to go home with this. That's just about the only thing you can do.
Well,
wow.
That was the most AFK engagement I've ever seen.
Yeah, it came from both sides, unfortunately. But now actually the Lings can pick this off by themselves. And this is pretty bad for Terran, because now you can't really... I mean, look at this Marine force here. This is just gonna die. There's not even a medic here. Now Terran is gonna have to... Oh my god.
This I don't agree with.
This is a bad engage. I mean, you actually have like a very big advantage here at Zerg. But I think you just threw away most of it just there.
It's tough, I know, when the momentum is really going.
Yeah, when you get a good engage, you just kind of want to go in and try to do damage. But that was unfortunately a bit wasteful. However, the Terran is holed up in his base for now, and it's a nice position to be in. Maybe you can take your third now. Morex coming down, and Terran is looking to move out again. But there's a very, very sizable force here. And this is, I think, actually a situation where you could wait for the army to move out onto the map and then counterattack. Just run the Lings past the bunker, maybe? I don't know, there's 4 Marines in that bunker, even Speedlings. They need like a perfectly clear path to be able to get past it.
I don't know, man, but he's planning for something.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go for it.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Alright.
Well, he has enough Lings to do it, even though they're just 0-0 Lings. But now, what are we gonna have? I think we're gonna have the same thing as before. We're gonna run all these Lings into the barracks, and there's no repair, though. There's no SCV, so this bunker is gonna go down. Oh my god. He's actually breached the natural, and I think he's going to take it out. But this SCB drill is beautiful. These Lings are trying to get up there, but they're just dying. Wow. That was amazing work by Zen. Amazing work. And now his vessel is out. It's almost got one irradiate. It's actually went out a little bit too soon. Needs to be careful now. It's gonna just barely just get picked off. But now all the momentum, I think, is just the wind is out of the sails for the Zerg. At the same time, the natural is still very naked right now. He needs to get a bunker up. He needs to get maybe a supply depot, something to kind of wall this off. He just scanned the entire map, sees that there's absolutely nothing, no third base for the Zerg. Zerg is completely all in.
Yep.
And there's nothing here. I mean, a bunker makes pretty fast. I think he's... Unless the Zerg just goes in a straight line towards the Terran base, I think he may be able to get this up. Here we go. Third time's the charm.
Ooh, it's
Oh
a
my
great
god,
raid.
all the mutas are going down, and these Lings are kind of glitching out as well. They're not taking down the bunker. Yeah, it's just not enough. Wow. The bunker, for a second I thought the bunker was gonna live, but the bunker earned its keep. It did its job, and I think from this moment on, this attack is just gonna get... GG, well played.
Aw, how very nice.
Oh.
Congratulations on season victory.
Oh, spoiling the result.
Wow.
GG. Yeah, well played by Zen. I think as far as all ins go, it was you know, it was a good attempt. But just a beautiful hold from Zen. He knew exactly what to do.
Yeah, it's not like it was scouted this time, so like there was the element of surprise was certainly there, but just the hold.
Yeah, I mean, it's always iffy when you're just running in Lings because, you know, they're just 0-0 Lings. They die, like, as soon as a Marine looks at them. It's a kind of move that you have to be... Everything has to be perfectly on point. And, I actually don't know how you most efficiently pull off an attack like that. Because when you go in with the Lings, what exactly do you target? Do you try to target down the bunker? Do you try to target down the Marines first? Do you try to prevent the SCVs from getting on top of the bunker? I don't actually know, to be completely honest. It's not as easy as just moving your Lings in, because Lings are actually very weak.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to give black and white answers in Brood War, to be honest, but
Yeah.
Generally, I personally, I try to target any exposed Marines that are outside first. Because they're easy to pick off, and when
Yeah.
you kill them, you're removing a lot of their DPS.
Yes, exactly. I do think that the second attempt was better than the first one. The second game, that is.
Yeah, and definitely a bit of a surprise to see two back-to-back, but
Yeah.
you know, maybe he prepared for it that way.
Yeah,
Wins are
could be.
wins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and sometimes you just have, you know, a situation where for some reason you can't quite practice as much. You know, you kind of don't feel maybe 100% confidence in a long macro game. Then it's not a bad idea to just, you know, try a build like this. Just roll the dice. Okay, I think that's gonna do it for this cast. It was just a very narrow victory for the Fightin Aiurish. They took it 3-2. A lot of Terran wins this this cast. We actually didn't see a single Zerg win a match.
It's a tough matchup.
It's a tough matchup. I mean, as much as I like playing CVT, it is a difficult,
same.
tricky matchup. Yeah, I like it more than CVP.
Yeah, same.
It's interesting. I feel like most Zerg players probably prefer playing against Protoss.
I guess. It's kind of supposed to be the easier matchup.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if I agree with that. At least for me, it seems like CVT is just slightly easier to grasp. It's slightly easier to macro. You've got a little bit more micro-heavy engagements. And maybe that's just the reason why I kind of like just microing. I like having my units out on the map and doing stuff. Okay, looks like we're just about done for this cast. Thank you everyone for joining us. It's been a blast. I think we're gonna raid someone. I can see someone is streaming some games right now. I'm thinking we might raid Pand0r CPL player from Russia.
Nice.
So let's raid him. Let's surprise him with a couple more viewers.
All right. On that note, I'm taking off.
Yeah, thanks for joining me, and it's been great. It was nice to have XUN join us as well. Thanks to him. I know he had to leave a little bit early. Yeah, thanks for joining me. It's been fun, and let's do this again sometime.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Peace
Bye
out.
all.